Hey, film fans, welcome to episode 9 of Film Club. I am Zach of Zach Attack Reviews. This is
Kenny Sparks. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, this is the weekly live stream
Live
podcast where you can come
stream!
in and enjoy film talk and feel safe and not feel like you're being grifted. And we
There
are
it is.
talking about a packed show today. So we're going to be talking about Sinners once again because this is the big hot topic of the month, basically, after Minecraft.
Correct.
And everything that's going on. Kind of the conversation of how everyone is talking about they want original films, they want less sequels and remakes, but I feel like the conversation that is happening around this film is very counterproductive to all that talk that was leading up to the film. So we're going to be breaking that down. Recently, the Oscars have come out and said that they're making new voter rules about how they're going to be attempting to, I guess, manage voters for watching films. And the New York Post kind of had a little bit more details on it. Not much, but we'll talk about that. And then we're going to be ranking all the movies that we saw in April in 2025 that are 2025 movies.
Yep.
So I'm super excited to get into all this. But real quick, how are you doing, Kenny?
I'm alive, man. I am mentally, you know what I'm saying? And but other than that, man, I got some health stuff going on in terms of like just ailments and what have you. But nigga, I'm here. I'm out here. I'm in these streets.
In
I
squeeze.
have you know what I'm saying? This podcast is live stream, if you will. I got a lovely wife who loves me, you know what I'm saying? I got a dog who pretends to love me, but he really just wants streets. You know what I'm saying? I got a cat who's a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? So all this stuff adds up to me having a pretty good life. But yeah, man, doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, I took a step back in some of my physical therapy. But hopefully it gets fixed soon, which is just some doctor stuff. Have an appointment next week, see what's really going on. I kind of shared early in the year about my health issues when I made a video about it and talking about why I was kind of cutting back on all the stuff I was doing. So I've been working on that. But for the most part, man, things are looking good in terms of like real life outside of YouTube stuff. And I'm happy. I'm happy to do this. This is real fun. And I'm excited to talk to you all about movie stuff because I just love it.
Yeah, man. This is our bread and butter. This is what we do.
Yeah, dude. Actually want original movies. Hopefully I spelled original correctly. All
I'll let
right.
you know if you didn't. Let's see. Go. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. This is going to be our first topic. And we're going to be talking about, do we want actual original movies? And the reason why we're saying that is because Sinners came out, one of the most successful original films that has come out in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I think since what's that Sandra Bullock space movie?
I know exactly what you're talking. Gravity.
Gravity. Yes, it's the highest. It's one of the best box office wise movies since that film. And that's kind of crazy if you think about that because Gravity came out in 2013. It's 2025, right?
Gravity was 2013?
Yeah.
That is
when I was reading up on this. It's super insane. But a lot of the conversations talking about we want original movies, we want less remakes, we want less superhero films that are we want less adaptations, we want people to suppress the boundaries of film and push forward and things like that. But we've had this conversation even before this movie was a thought. People don't actually really do want that because they only go to the theaters when it's franchise and adaptations. And the 2024 box office showed that. I think the top 10 were all sequels and adaptations. And there were no original movies in the top 10.
Yeah. And there's nothing like to be absolutely 100% clear, like there's nothing wrong with that. I think the conversation that we're having right now is that people, including cinephiles like ourselves, say one thing yet do another, right? So we have this situation where we have the substance. We have something like Strange Darling, which a lot of people haven't even heard of. We have
Yeah,
and you know what? I'm not going to just put it on the people. Like some of it is the studio's fault for
a
not
lot of it
promoting
is the
well.
studio fault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and also if you're in a situation where people do know about a movie, let's say Sing Sing, but you don't put it in the theater, what are people supposed to do? You know what I mean? So there
yeah,
there is that situation as well. So it's not like this isn't like a bash movie fans kind of thing, but it's more of a discussion of what is the truth of the matter, right? Are our
yeah,
actions lining up with what we are actually saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that the truth of the matter is when it comes to that, we're seeing a bit of a shift after last year. So yeah, last year, the top 10 films that did the best box office wise were all adaptations and sequels and remakes.
right,
But we're noticing that the big blockbuster films this year that are not like that are sequels and things like that are not doing as great. Like a Captain America: Brave New World, people
right.
thought that was going to be the first big film of the year. It did $400 million, which is way more than most films do, but it's not
Hmm.
good for that film because the budget was so high.
Right,
Um, we do have something that's like Minecraft, which is an adaptation of a game, but they kind of took the game and made it kind of their own thing. It still takes a lot from the Minecraft story, and
yep,
obviously Steve is from Minecraft and things like that, and it does a lot of the game mechanics, but it played with that a little bit, and we saw the fans go crazy. But it is a IP that existed already, not
right,
something that they brought from the ground up like Sinners. So the reason why we having this conversation is because Sinners is hot. A lot of people were talking about it being an original film and all the success it's doing, and it deserves. But everybody is talking about sequels now, sequels, prequels,
yep.
spin-offs.
Oh, and
Um,
speaking of which,
yeah,
so you guys see me looking down. I am paying attention, but I'm actually trying to prepare something or actually trying to do something for this stream as we're speaking. So that's why you
yeah,
see me looking down. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the zone, auto zone. But yeah, sorry about that.
no problem. Yeah, and all I've been seeing is, I need to see a spinoff of the Choctaw Native American Vampire Hunters, which I ain't gonna lie, I want to see that too.
Right.
I've been seeing prequels of Remnant. We want to see what happened to him when
Remnant.
he was in Ireland, how he became a vampire.
Yep.
We've been seeing, we need to see a prequel of Smoke and Stack when they were in Chicago and how they grew up. We need to see just a direct sequel to Sinners, a Sinners 2, even though Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan said they're not interested in making a Sinners 2 at all, despite the box office. And yeah, I do want at least 3 spinoffs from movies from Sinners. I keep thinking about a prequel following Choctaw Vampire Hunters. Yeah,
And like we're saying, like this isn't like something that we're saying that people shouldn't want. What we're saying is,
yeah,
in one breath, people are saying, "Hey, we just want original movies. Everybody wants original movies." But the moment that you get one that's really good and that you're engaged in, what do people do? They say things like, "Would love a prequel to Sinners about the native vampire hunters, right? The Choctaw vampire hunters." Which, to emphasize again, I would want that too. But the
okay.
conversation about I think what we're more so getting at is the disingenuous nature of the internet and how we always get to this place where we're like, oh, we're rah rah about all these different things. And the reality is the way we spend our money speaks more volumes than what we actually say with our mouths. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when we talk about we hear things like, oh, it's just like box office slop, right? Or not box office like movie slop. Like so people would say something like Minecraft is movie slop, but people pay for it, right? What are
So it's almost at
studios?
$900 million.
It's almost at a $900, which you could almost say is almost at $1 billion. What are studios
Yeah.
supposed to do? If a studio puts out an original film, right, and it does really well, and people are like, we really want sequels to this, right? Are studios supposed to say, nah, for the love of the art, let's not put any more of this out? You know what I mean? So, like my guy Walter Fuego says, hear me out. Smoke and Stack Sinners prequel tells the story of the boys, their father, the war, Mississippi to Chicago, then Chicago back to the SIP. No horror, just crime. Like people are craving these different versions of this movie or different like parts of this movie, and I think that is really
Yeah.
interesting when we talk about the landscape of film discourse.
Mhm. And just to piggyback off this, let's talk about why this is like this, right? So
Hmm.
the way the studio system used to work back in the day, you would have a fall, spring, summer, and winter blockbuster, right? You have four tentpole films that you would drop during each season of varying budgets and varying degrees. Obviously, the summer was the one that you would like. Oh, this is the one that's going to make the most money for the year. Normally, right? Like
Hmm.
summer and Christmas and around Thanksgiving are big movie times since almost the beginning of cinema. And those movies would make so much money that they would pay for mid-budget films to be made, right? Because the
Mm,
indie space wasn't popping like the way like indie space really just got popping over the last couple years, like the last 10, 15. If you think about the scope of
right,
cinema. So I remember not Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon was talking about the reason why mid-budget films don't exist, and these are the expensive comedies, the expensive dramas, the expensive horror films, the expensive thrillers, the ones that cost 50, 80, 90 million dollars don't get made anymore, or even like $30 million don't get made as much or made anymore, and risks are taken, is because of streaming.
right.
Because back in the day, you would have the big tentpole film. Those films would basically pay for those movies to be able to take a risk and do them. And if it flopped, which some did, it was fine because your studio made enough money off the big blockbuster. And
Correct.
then on top of that, even if it flopped, if it garnered enough audience, like word of mouth, it would do good on the ancillary market, which is DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS. A lot of movies made a whole lot of money on DVD. But now that physical media is becoming more boutique,
Hmm.
now we don't have a space for that because it's not the same amount of money that they make when they put it on digital, right? When you get to rent the film or even buy the film on digital, it's not the same. A lot of people don't do that. They just wait for streaming anyway. I think when I was looking at the breakdown, most people who rent films are people who are older, right? Like they don't want to pay for streaming. They just rent the films that they want to see and then or buy it on there that they want to see and keep it pushing instead of subscribing to a streaming service.
Right.
So a lot of younger people aren't renting movies, right? Like I know I rarely rent movies. Sometimes I'll do it if I missed it in theaters and I want to support the film, but for the most part I'll wait for it to hit streaming.
Yeah, I'm a wait for streaming kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not saying like if it wasn't available in my theater, I'm a wait for streaming kind of guy because sometimes you have to. Rarely will I just rent a movie, especially if I know that it's coming out. Because honestly, you can say what you want about people and the way that they spend their money, but a lot of things are just economic sense. Like A plus B equals C. Why would I pay for this if I
People see.
know I'm about to get it for free in a couple months? Now you can blame that on the studios, which you'd be absolutely right to do. But the reality is, this is how people think about the content that they consume. And I just made this a lot easier for myself because instead of switching between them, I got them all here. Um, yeah. So actually, some of these are covering my head, but that's okay.
That's
But
totally
yeah,
fine.
yeah, it's totally
But even with
fine.
Selected Movie Man, he just said, I don't think studios do enough to promote original films. Like Nora was an original film. And like I don't know how well it did at the box office, but I heard it did pretty. Nora ended up doing decent at the box office, especially after the award buzz came out. But
Mm-hmm.
that happened. Like the Brutalist ended up doing decent. A lot of the movies that got award buzz did decent because a lot of people went to go see them because they were getting an award buzz.
Because they got
But
award buzz.
award films aren't the only films that should be doing well. There are films that are just fun or just really good or are going to be overlooked by there's the Oscars because they have horror or they're an action film or whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason they get overlooked that deserves an audience.
Yeah.
And I think that I have to also put in perspective that I live in New York City
Mm-hmm.
and we are a movie going town and we get everything, right? Like I get almost all the movies.
Yeah.
there are certain films that are hard to find. Like even for me, watching Sing Sing in the theater was impossible, right? And I
Yeah.
live in a movie going town, so I
I live
can't
in
expect someone.
Philadelphia. It was
Yeah,
showing in one day in one theater, and that was it for months. It was not coming back. It was just
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So I can't expect somebody that lives in Idaho or Kentucky or
Hmm.
somewhere more in the Midwest where they're not more theater friendly, especially some of these people who are more conservative leaning, they usually get the more religious films for a long time. I have a
That's
friend of the
true.
show, friend of the YouTube channel, Noah Kaiser, who covers more conservative stuff like the more religious content, the more what's that Hallmark content?
Hallmark.
They
Yep. Hallmark
he
movies.
yeah, he was looking forward to watching Sinners recently, but they were instead of getting Sinners, they got the King of Kings, which was like the Jesus movie, the Jesus animated
Oh,
movie that came out, which made a lot of money. So it made sense why they kept it because it was making a lot of money in that state.
yeah.
But that's something you also got to think about where you live. California, New York, Philly, Chicago, like these more movie going and maybe even more liberal leaning states are going to get more movies because most movies are more liberal than conservative. There are more movies talking about depression and LGBT problems and different things that maybe conservative viewers might not like.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing that you have to think about. So I think that there is a 60-40 problem here, right? Like I think 60% of it is that people are not going to see the original movies that are coming out and
Hmm.
they're instead of going to check what movies is coming out in a week, they are waiting for it to be force fed to them or hear word of mouth, which is also fair.
Yeah.
Um but you also can't sit there and complain that there's no original movies if you're not
If you
looking for
don't
them.
go out and see them, right?
Yeah, like if you are a cinephile, if you're someone that's online complaining about it, you have to do some legwork. And then the 40% is the fact that the distributors, especially like Neon, A24, Canopy, Mubi, all these ones that bring out these artistic films, they need to do a better job of getting their films out in other places so people can see them.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that I do think people do want original films, but they don't want it the way they think they do because every time we get something, they want
Yeah.
100 million spin-offs from it, as you can see by everything that's on the screen right
Yeah.
here.
And it's not even just like, so I think what people would like to see more so than just having only original films, I feel like people would like to see more balance in what they're being given, right? So
Yeah,
for every like let's also be honest, there's way more original movies that come out every year than there are prequel
yeah,
sequels and what have you. I think those tentpole movies, those Marvel movies, those Star Wars movies, Mission Impossibles and stuff like that, they feel like the only thing because they're the thing that those are the things that are most talked about. And they're also the things that garner the most money. So they're also the things that are most seen. So of course they're most talked about, right? So we've been having this discussion about people wanting like original film, but I don't think it's just the fact that they want original film. They want original film and they want I, like it's not even like a steak versus candy kind of thing, or like a health versus like candy kind of thing. It's more so like a variety kind of thing. And what I think the solve for this, a there's two things that can help you resolve the lack of original movies that you're seeing, even though they do exist. One is on the studios with advertising and making sure that they get in front of people's faces. And studios aren't going to spend a ton of money on advertising for movies that they don't think will make much. So I think that that's fair. But the other thing that
yeah,
we can do as consumers, if we're saying that we want original movies, is put ourselves in the position to find these original movies. Because, like I said, there are original movies that the more original movies that come out every single year. That's movies that are not adapted from a book, movies that are not sequels, prequels, or anything like that. There are more of those every single year than there are not. right? So here's my advice to people who want to put themselves in position to find these original movies. YouTube. You guys are on YouTube right now. Subscribe to A24's YouTube channel. Subscribe to Neon's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Lionsgate. Subscribe to Disney. Subscribe to, and I say Disney, even though you think that A is just remakes and stuff like that, but every once in a while they'll pop out something original. Case in point, Pixar with Elio, right? So you, every single studio that has a YouTube channel, and every single studio has a YouTube channel, subscribe to those YouTube channels. So if you see, including like Warner Brothers, right? So if you see all these independent studios putting out stuff, you saw The Substance that one time, which I don't remember what studio put out The Substance, but if you saw which one? Movie,
yeah.
Yeah, so subscribe to Movie's YouTube channel, right? You're going to see all the trailers all the time in your feed. So you'll never be like, oh, I never heard of it. You'll have it in front of your face. And not only that, you can also subscribe to or follow, I guess, all these places on social media, because all these studios have social media accounts. So if you want to find these original movies, find them there. I know people will be like, well, you guys are cinephiles, like you seek out these, or of course you guys know these things, you're in the YouTube space and stuff like that. Truth be told, I'm not doing anything special. I'm subscribing to studios, I'm following studios' social media accounts and stuff like that. I don't even have to follow other reviewers for real. I can just follow those and I'll get every single thing I want. And there's also a website that I'll post in the not only will I post this website in the chat, but I also post it in the description that I use to find every movie that's coming out this year, at least every movie in North America that's coming out this year. Sometimes there's movies that come outside of North America that I just won't see. So, yeah.
So that's what I post. It posts as both of us. I gotta change that.
I think you can change that. Yeah,
I did. I just changed it to just me. That's funny though. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I follow all the major studios and the studios I'm interested in on Instagram. And when they post a trailer, it pops up on my timeline. And it's not like I have a notification. It just eventually I'm scrolling and it pops up. And then I watch the trailer. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this, or I'm interested in this. Let me log it in my brain so that when it's time, I can go see it. And they usually post the trailers around the time the movie is gonna come out. They're not gonna post it like too far in advance and then it doesn't come out. So I definitely do think that there is a way, even if you're not a cinephile, everyone uses social media, whether it's Facebook, Threads, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to call it, Blue Sky. They all have profiles that you can follow, subscribe, or whatever you want to call it. And if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to their channel. I subscribe to A24's YouTube channel, and a lot of times videos pop up on my timeline. What movie is this? I never heard of this, and they're dropping it, and I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. If I like it, I'll go watch it. Our situation is a little different because we are in a movie community, and sometimes people we know will drop trailers in our group chats that we didn't even know about, and then we'll watch it and figure it out. But if you're someone that just wants to, like, hey, what's coming out this week? Definitely check out on social media. It'll be easy for you to, once you start looking, your algorithm will feed it to you. And also this website that Kenny gave you. And even that, all you have to do is Google what movies is coming out this week.
I Googled every movie that's coming out in 2025, and I found this website.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
And look at Lawrence Report. I love original movies. It saddens me the way Hollywood is in this remake phase. But Lawrence Report, how many original movies have you seen this year? Because a ton of them have come out. I just counted on my letterbox. I've seen 34 films this year, and 23 of them were original. So I'm going out in support of them. Are you going? Not a personal attack on you, but this is what we were talking about in the beginning in terms of, like, you're saying they're in a remake phase. But there's remakes coming out if you really think about it.
Yep.
Like, how many remakes? The only remake I could think about this year is The Amateur, right? I think.
Yeah. I was surprised. I did not know The Amateur was a remake until someone told me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to actually share my letterbox real quick, just so you guys can get a visual example of what we mean when we're talking about the original
Also,
movies.
what's up, Lawrence Report? Welcome to
What
live
up,
stream.
Lawrence? How you doing, man?
And also,
Sorry,
Collective Movie Man.
what up,
Welcome to live
collectors?
stream.
Sorry, Zach cursed you out before actually getting to your question. My bad, or saying hello, I
Hey,
should say.
the Naked Gun is coming out this year. I'm looking forward to that. That's not original. Looking forward to a film that is a sequel to something that came out already. This is what we were saying. Like, people are not looking forward to original films.
Yep.
Which
All right.
also
So
begs a question: is it easy to look forward to something that you're not aware of? Like, that's another thing. Like, if it's an original film, it's like, oh, how do I know what it's about, what it is? Like, people may see the trailer for Weapons and go, what the hell is this?
right. All right, y'all.
Speaking
So
of,
let's
the trailer for Weapons was fire.
great trailer. All right, y'all. So let's look at it. Now, these are my rankings. That's not the purpose of this video. But if you got comments about my rankings, you can say it anyway. So if we're talking about original films, we're looking at. I don't even know if my mouse shows up on here. There it is. So Sinners, original. Warfare, original. Companion, original. Mickey 17 came from a book. My Dead Friend Zoe, original. My Magazine Dreams, original. Black Bag, original. Death of a Unicorn, original.
Original.
One of Them Days, original. Hard Eyes, original.
Original.
Skip that, skip that. The Gorge, original. Novocaine, original. Legend of Ochi, original. Woman in the Yard,
Woman in the
original.
Yard.
The Amateur
The
is
Damned.
a remake. The Damned is an original film. Volume 1, original film. Last Breath isn't considered original because it's based on a true story. The Accountant 2 is not original. I don't even know why I said it. Opus, original. Drop, original. G20, original. The Monkey is based off of Stephen King. Love Hurts, original. Electric State is based off a book, actually, I found out. Presence, original. And those are all original films. So out of all these movies that I've seen this year, 19 of them are original films. 14 of them are remakes, adaptations, prequels, sequels, and the like, right? So
Yeah.
I've seen more original movies this year than I've seen not original movies. And I'll get to Chill's comment in a second, as soon as I remove this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but you guys aren't the general audience. We understand that. Our conversation is essentially about, hey, if you're looking for these original movies, here's how you can find it. And the conversation of, there's no original movies. Yes, there are. I just counted 19 of them that I've seen this year, and there's plenty more that I haven't seen. So the conversation isn't, oh, people like, the conversation isn't these people are just only cinephiles can see this. The conversation is, here's how you can see this. Subscribe to A24. Subscribe to Neon. Subscribe to Warner Brothers. Subscribe to Lionsgate. Subscribe to Movies. Subscribe to, like, there's Blumhouse. Subscribe to, like, there's so many different ways in which you can actually find the things that you're saying doesn't exist. You're saying all these things don't exist, but they are all here. As well as we provided a link to a website that tells you every single movie that's coming out in the United States this year. So our conversation isn't to shame. Our conversation is to educate. So if you
Also,
want
I
to
think we were
educate
not
them,
really talking to the general audience, though. I think what we're talking about is the people who complain about there being no original movies. General audience is not really the people who are complaining about it. They go see whatever they want to go see. You
and they
can't
have
really
fun with it.
control that. They have fun with it. But we're talking about the constant conversation that people have online about complaining about original movies, of complaining about there's too many sequels, remakes, and adaptations of things. Where are the original ideas? But we just named a bunch of original movies that we've both seen. Some of the movies we both seen, some of the movies we didn't both see, right? Like, there's certain movies on there that he saw that I didn't see. And there's certain movies that I've seen that are original that he hasn't seen.
Right.
And if you haven't seen any of these, and there's some of them are some of the best movies I've seen of the year,
Yep.
then how can you really complain and say there's nothing original when you haven't checked it out?
Yeah.
Now, if it's your argument is like, oh, I didn't know it was coming out, then do the thing that Kenny is saying and subscribe to these YouTube channels, these Instagram channels, all these things, and then you'll
You'll
laugh
find
at
it.
Lulu.
What up, Laughing
People who
Lulu?
complain there are no original movies anymore are the problem. They're the exact same people not seeing the original movies. That's basically, yeah, that's a
Yep.
big what we're talking about. However, there's definitely is a conversation to be had about average movie going audience not seeing original movies. That's a harder conversation. That's more about, I think, the reason why Sinners, for example, worked so well is because it was an original film made by someone that has a proven track record, right? Like for
Two
me,
people. Yeah.
yeah, two people that have a proven track record. For me, uh, Ryan Coogler is 5 for 5. A lot of people say he's 4 for 5. That if you want to say that, that's fine. But even if he's 4 for 5, that's a really great track record, right? Like your
Yep.
first 5 films, only one is kind of questionable. That's why people are like, okay, I'll trust to go watch Ryan Coogler. I'll trust to watch a Ryan Coogler movie with Michael B. Jordan because they always do good well when he stars in his films. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
somebody like a Haley Steinfeld who's already kind of she's not a star, but she's kind of on the
She's
verge.
recognizable.
Yeah, and then a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of like veteran actors. So Sinners is became an event because of the marketing and then the people involved. There's a lot of original films that come out from new directors who haven't adapted anything, they haven't worked on anything popular, they don't have a name for themselves, and it's going to be hard for that general audience to get
Yeah.
attached to that. Like when Coraline Farge, she made The Substance an event. People wanted to see what the hell was this weird, crazy movie about.
Mm-hmm.
And it also starred Demi Moore, who's a movie star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it starred, I don't know, some actress that I like, but it's not that big, it might have not got as much attention because the conversation was now, is Demi Moore going to get an Oscar? Now everybody has
Yep.
to go see this performance from her and also see why everyone's saying it's so wild.
And it's also, I think it's also important to say, like, I understand your point about conversations about the average movie going audience not seeing original movies. And I definitely hear that. But I think what I want to caution us from doing is making it uncomfortable, making the conversation uncomfortable to have with them, right? So somebody is like, I see this literally all the time. So let's take comic books for example, right? Somebody's
Yeah.
just getting the comic books. They only read Marvel. They only read DC,
Hmm.
and they and they're happy about it, right? They're like, oh, like I read this really cool story about Spider Man and blah 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 blah. I love Spider Man. I've always heard about him. Started reading it, and then what's the first thing that happens? Some comic book nerd comes around and says, oh, you didn't read this, or you don't know this, or how do you not know this? Like you should read these 600 issues of this thing, and don't read that. I know that you really like that, but you shouldn't read that because I don't like that. Like there's all kinds of like things that happen when us who you would call like cinephiles, people who are more into movies than I guess other people, that happens. Like we have this attitude of, oh, you guys only watch that stuff. Like, no, those are movies. These people are enjoying it. Let these people enjoy what they're enjoying. They don't have to consume content the way that we do because we have an agenda to make these things better. No, that's not their problem. In a very similar fashion, me as a cinephile, movies like supporting original films, that's not my problem in a very real way. And I understand people are like, oh, you should support original films. No, I support the things I want to see, right? If an
Watch,
original
yeah.
film comes out, that's not enough for me to go see it. The trailer better be good, and I better actually be interested. I'm not just throwing my dollars at anything or my time because I got an AMC A-list. I'm talking about $23 a month. I get to see 3 movies every week. I'm talking about because privilege out here in the city, big city living. I'm talking about we got like 16 theaters right in the area. I'm saying I could choose any one I want. I'm talking about anyway. So we don't necessarily need to have a wild ass like attitude towards people who are just trying to have a good time, right? If you go to the ball pit and you just or the trampoline joint, you just try and jump on the trampoline, and the trampoline expert comes around and says, "You jumping on that wrong." See the angles, like Michael Jordan of the trampoline said, "If you jump at this angle, you'll achieve glory." Like niggas not trying to achieve glory with movies; they're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. Before I even have you on that, Zach Mill talk movies. What's up?
Zach Mill. What's up,
Daddy
Papa Mill?
Moon. What's up, man? I'm glad you're good. I actually need to watch some of your videos. I know you dropped some ranking videos. I'm lacking in some of the Zacking. You know what I mean? So I know that sounds
Sir,
kind of crazy.
what just happened? Pause.
But yeah, welcome to the live stream. He says, well said Kenny, original doesn't automatically mean it deserves to make money. Yeah, that's 100% true. I've seen some original movies this year that I didn't like. One of my movies but the worst movie I saw this year is an original movie, right? And my favorite movie this year is a sequel. So like, I'm not saying that every movie every week has to be an original film, which basically almost every week there is an original film that's coming out.
Yep.
But don't complain and say, oh, first of all, yeah, I miss you too, I like a lot.
Yeah.
Don't complain and say there's nothing coming out when there is stuff coming out. Now if you're saying, hey, the more nuanced conversation is there's not enough variety coming out. Where's a new comedy? Where's a new action film that's
Yeah.
actually like a quality and not Netflix level? Even
Yeah.
though like some Netflix films probably should have been released in theaters, like Extraction 2.
Yeah.
Um I would have loved to see that first sequence in Extraction 2 in theaters on a big screen.
Extraction is amazing. I remember during the pandemic, I was mad because that's when the first one dropped. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so mad I'm not seeing this in the theater right now.
Yeah. You know, like something like Monkey Man was almost a Netflix film. That deserved to be seen in theater.
That would have sucked at home. Not the movie would have sucked, but that experience would not have been as good.
No, it wouldn't have been as good. And I think I lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. When I
Okay,
caveat.
that was wild. Putting myself in timeout.
But yeah, the whole thing is, I think our synopsis for this is general audience doesn't care about if a film is original or not. They want to see something that looks fun. It feels like an event. They want to feel like something. If they miss out on it, they'll feel FOMO. That's what the general audience wants. Cinephiles needs variety. That's what the studios need to focus on. We need more comedies in theaters. We need more dramas. There's no like Shawshank Redemption. There's no
Yeah.
Goodwill Hunting. There's no
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. These mid-budget, epic, not I don't want to say epic, but kind of epic in storytelling that tugs at your heartstrings. We get a lot of indie films that feel like that, but they don't feel as big. The indie films feel
You know, feel as
smaller and a little
grand. Yeah.
slower. They don't feel as grand. So we need these grand films like this. Like, for example, Sinners could have been a great mid-budget drama without the vampires. Like, if you take the
For
vampires
sure.
out and just made it about Smoke and Stack in the community versus the KKK, it would have been a phenomenal movie still, right?
Yeah, it's still a good movie without the vampires, which is crazy. But the vampires add so much to it that I'm glad that it was in there. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Do you think we'll ever see a resurgence of those type of films in cinemas, or is streaming the Pandora box we can never close for general audiences? So this is a good question, and I've been thinking about this for a while. I do think everything comes in waves, and everything comes back around, right? Like flip phones are coming back. So the fact that flip phones are coming back means I feel like the mid-budget film will come back. Things like Sinners helps. Now there's a blueprint for how someone can make a film for 80, 90 million dollars, right? And we've had films like Godzilla Minus One is more, it's not really mid-budget, that was only 10 million. But like what's the Gareth Edwards film that came out, the sci-fi film?
The Creator.
The Creator. Even though that didn't do well box office wise, because John David Washington's not a movie star, unfortunately. He's not.
Your John David Washington
if that was Denzel Washington, that movie would have made money.
Of course, but you gotta see this is the problem with people like you. You want to see Stone Cold come back every WrestleMania and take somebody else's spot. You know what I'm saying? You want to put Penta on the sideline so you can have your little glass break pop instead of actually letting the new and younger, even though Penta's not necessarily younger, talents go out and flourish. You know what I'm talking about? That's your problem right there. Let these new people flourish.
What do you mean, you people? Okay, what are you talking about here? Second of all, no, I'm not saying that John David Washington deserved to be in that role. I'm just saying he's not a movie star yet. So
No,
for
no,
him
I know what you
to,
mean. I was just joking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, but the creator, a lot of people who saw the creator liked it a lot. So that's the thing. Like, it
Yeah.
sets the path. Civil War, even though that was controversial, it sets a path. And then Sinners is building on the momentum of these mid-budget films. And I think there's going to be a moment where a lot of high caliber directors are going to be doing lower budget films so they could tell more intimate stories instead of telling these grand epics that cost 150 $200 million, and there's a bigger risk. The fact that Ryan Coogler made a $90 million budget film helped a lot, and I see other directors doing that very, very soon. And then the main reason I think streaming is going to become too expensive. I just got charged for Netflix. It was $27. That
What?
is more than my Regal Unlimited. So then if you
How dare
go
they?
Netflix, then you go HBO Max, which is 17, and then Apple's 9, and Paramount Plus is now 13, and Peacock is now 13, and then the Shutter, which is now 9, and all these things, like, it becomes so much that you will now go see movies in the theater because you have to cancel some of this shit. And then
Yeah.
some of these movies that are coming to streaming, like, oh, I don't have Paramount Plus because it's too expensive. If it's a Paramount movie, like, I have to go see this in theaters if I'm really interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's going to eventually happen where streaming becomes this big, like, too expensive, like more than cable expensive. So people
Yeah.
are now going to maybe get a Regal Unlimited or AMC A-list. Or what was that thing that they used to have before that imploded but it's coming back? It was like a subscription
I know
service.
exactly what you're talking about because I had it too. Movie Pass.
Movie Pass is coming back. So
Dog, when I
that might
tell
be a
you,
thing.
when Movie Pass first came out, right? And they were like, look, you can go see 3 movies a week for, I think it was $7. I knew, and I'm not joking whatsoever or trying to be like Monday morning quarterback. I knew for a fact this business model would not last
Yeah.
because it doesn't make any sense. It, like, mathematically, it makes 0 sense. And then they don't get a concessions thing. They were trying to strong arm studios into paying them for like concessions and a percentage. It was like, you
Mm-hmm.
no. And then what did AMC do? We'll just do it ourselves. We don't need you. So it was crazy.
And
$7.
charge more.
Yeah, like for example, like, so if I pay $7 a month for 3 movies a month and I go see one movie in the theater, that one movie is, yeah, like, you're under immediately because that one movie is probably $14 a ticket. So not only are you under that 7, now I've already doubled what you're under, and now I'm seeing 2 other movies this week. So it just made 0 sense.
What's
But
going to work?
AMC can afford to do that because it's their company, right? And
Yeah.
they can make those prices. It was just dumb. But I wrote it to the wheels fall off because, like, y'all being dumb ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm gonna take advantage.
Not the one that came up with this stupid one, but yeah, you're totally right. But I do like to close off this question. I do think that eventually the mid-budget epic will slowly but surely come back. I think
Yeah.
that directors are now going to enter big budget spaces like the MCU, the DCU, Star Wars, even maybe hopefully Star Trek eventually comes back, get their name out there. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think that the pathway for directors now is do an indie film, get heralded for that. Get into now a space where you get to make a franchise film that's not in superhero realm, do a superhero movie, and then start making budget films. I think that's the pathway now to do things. Because I think if you keep doing the Christopher Nolan thing where you keep making these expensive ass movies each time, it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to work for everybody. Like
Yeah.
even Nolan, like Tenet, end up imploding on itself,
Mm-hmm.
box office wise at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's T got to say?
T says, I think there are plenty of original movies that come out. People simply don't go see them too much anymore, and the studios aren't marketing them. And yeah, that's totally 100% true. Studios are not marketing them as well as they should. On the other side of the business point, how much marketing am I going to invest in something I'm not going to get a huge return on? I'm going to get a huge return on Lilo and Stitch. I'm not going to get a huge return on
Right, man.
the substance, the substance, right? So like there's a business part of it that we don't like to acknowledge. I'm not talking about you specifically, T. There's a business part about it that we don't typically acknowledge, but that's simply true. Like I think they market based on what they Sinners got a ton of marketing because it's Ryan Coogler, it's Michael B. Jordan, and not because it's an original movie, it's because it's those two, and probably because they had a lot of confidence in the movie because studios often see the movie before we do and see parts of it. They're like, "Oh, this is good. We're going to sell this." Um,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think made Sinners stand out? A 6% drop between weekend one and two is insane. Let me tell you, black people. That is the answer. Might not be the most scientific answer, but word of mouth is huge for this movie. The word of mouth for this movie, like look, if you look at social media right now, you will see nothing but Sinners content, and that Sinners content under that Sinners reel or thread or whatever you're looking at, right under there is someone posting and saying, damn, y'all convinced me. I'm going to go see this. Right? I've,
Yep.
I've seen this pattern so many times. And I think that's what happened. People are like, not only are people like, oh, this is really good, people are like, oh, you got to look at Michael B. Jordan's sex appeal, man. Like, this dude is a person who is attractive. You know what I'm saying? And the cast is
And Haley
attractive.
Steinfeld,
Like,
they used
they
her in the
have
marketing a lot.
all, exactly, Wumi Masaku, attractive woman. Like, you have all of this. Then you got the historical aspect, so people can really have these conversations. I think it's because it's not just a vampire movie. I think it's because there's
Yeah.
actually a conversation to be had about the film. So
I
yeah,
want to
black
piggyback
people.
off a lot of what you just said.
Yeah.
So you said there's no science to it, but there is actually a science to it. I know people don't like her, but Grace Randolph breaks down the box office
Hmm.
from week one to week two. The increase in black, specifically African Americans, to go watch it from week one to week two went up, and it specifically
Sure.
went up with women. So
Hmm.
week one, 47% of the box office came from women. In week two, 55% of the box office came from women. So a lot of black women
Same.
went out to go see this movie. The shallow aspect of it is they want to see Michael B. Jordan as twins
Two
look
times.
hot. Two times.
Two times.
Two times, like Booker T, but it's really five
Hmm.
times. And then also, black women love seeing hot women on screen too, or women in general. I'm not saying so, like a Haley Steinfeld, a Woomi, a Jamie, the Jamie, I forgot what her name is, or Perline she played.
Yeah.
In that, like that whole cast is attractive, and something that they used to do back in the day was the beefcake cheesecake thing. The beefcake was the men who look hot with the muscles out and all that, and the cheesecake was the girls who had curves. They would purposely cast and dress their cast like that to make people want to see hot people on screen. And
Hmm.
they did that for this movie while also having vampires, while also having a technological feat with Michael B. Jordan playing two twins right next to each other. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
The fact that
I've
how
noticed that.
great that looked.
Yeah.
Like it looked
It's a
really great.
really well done. At no point I was like, "Ooh, he's not really there." Like at no point did I feel that watching this
And
movie.
out of all the twins that we've gotten recently, I think because it's funny because we've been in our doubles lately. Jim Carrey did it in Sonic 3. We got Robert De Niro doing it Alto Nights. We have Robert Pattinson did it in Mickey 17,
It's
and
true.
now
That looked
and
good though. Yeah.
yeah, and there's one other person too, but I think though the Sinners one is the most impressive one,
Hmm.
right? You can always kind of tell what they're doing to hide it. Like even like with Robert De Niro, you can tell that like he's playing makeup in this one, and they recorded it. And they have different makeup here, but like they were hugging each other and standing next to each other and touching each other on the shoulder and stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
where it was like seamless. So there's a technical achievement to it, and there's a lot of um, not Robert, what's the Ryan Coogler going out and doing these great interviews where he's explaining why you need to see it in this type of movie. He's
Yeah.
explaining aspect ratios. He's explaining inspirations. I know a lot of people when he said the eyes for the vampires was inspired by Puss in Boots, they got excited. Because it's
Hmm.
like, wow, that's so cool that you did that. And they want to see what goes into that. The way he talks about the film is so passionate. And then Ryan and then Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld doing social media. They're going on the meet cute. You know what I mean? Like going up there and talking about, yeah, we're not a couple in real life, but we play a couple in a movie. Like stuff like that gets people of all ages on board.
This is why during the writer strike, it was so many movies moved into 2024 because they could not go out and promote. They couldn't do the talk shows. They couldn't do all this other stuff. Like it was impossible for them to do that because they couldn't talk about a movie. So many movies moved. I'm sure Sinners is probably one of those movies. I don't know that for a fact, but like,
no, sure it is,
yeah, there's so many things like that occurred.
You said movie tickets cost as much as a month of Netflix. Well, I guess it depends on what tier.
Yeah.
Because my Netflix costs more than my movie. Well, actually, I don't pay for movie tickets. I guess that's why. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got Rego Limited.
Yeah.
The amount I pay to scroll for an hour on Netflix only to put on a Blu-ray I own is different.
I hear that for sure.
That's why I don't support streaming because the prices are getting crazy. That's why I wait for these stuff to come out on physical or I get a bootleg copy.
Hey man, I don't blame you. You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
You gotta do, yeah. Bootleg, I'm a little bit on. You know, I only bootleg if they don't put movies on physical. Like Barbarian does not have a physical release, so that's why I got it. But if they do a physical release of it, I will buy it still. Yeah. But like, if you're not gonna give me a physical release of this film, I'm gonna have to bootleg it. Books, Gers, and Purrs, welcome to the live stream. Glad to see you back. She said, dang, our streaming service is getting with tariffs too. The prices are too high. That's hilarious. They shouldn't be, but
you know what? In a roundabout way, they will be. As much like I think that I don't want to get too far deep into this, but essentially there's a lot of stuff that's made in China and a lot of stuff that even studios use to supply the offices, for example. Like everything's going to be expensive. It's going to be more expensive for them to run a business because everything's more expensive. Therefore, that those prices are going to trickle down on us. Blah 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 blah. So yeah,
especially Netflix, who makes a lot of content internationally. That's something with the tariffs is going to affect that, right? Some of their biggest shows are international shows. I think you're speaking to city dwellers. Those people in the rural America ain't driving 30 miles to go see a movie. Absolutely. If they're a cinephile, we know some cinephiles in that group chat we're in that drive hour, 2 hours to go watch a movie they want to see. I know Dandy, Journey Through Cinema, drive 2.5 hours to go see Sing Sing. So like, we're not talking about general audience. I know they're not going to go out of their way, so we can't blame them. That's a studio distribution thing at that point. But like people who love films, they will go drive to see movies. The streaming era was just a lockdown era. Yeah, I gotta agree. I think a lot of these studios saw Netflix making money during the lockdown era and thought they could get in, and now they're realizing, oh shoot, no, it's because everybody was stuck in their house.
Warner Brothers was the ones who screwed it up for everybody.
Which is funny.
Which is actually ironic considering the deal that they gave Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. If you don't market, they won't come. They will come if you market it right. Yeah. That's why I don't support streaming. Oh, okay, I read that. Yeah. The second week dropped by 4%. Oh, it's even lower than they said before? That's incredible.
That's awesome. I didn't see all these comments here.
What do you think will take the number one spot this week? Sinners or Thunderbolts? Is it holding 90% on Rotten Tomatoes? Thunderbolts is currently at an 88. Yeah. Unless somehow Sinners drops another 4%, it's Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts has a lot working for it. One, it's a Marvel movie, right? So that's a certain amount of money out the gate. Two, it's got an 88% when I saw it. It was 90% when I saw it earlier today. It was at a 90%. It's getting a lot of good word of mouth. People are like, yo, this is really freaking good.
Yeah.
That just equals money, right? So you're already established name. People are speaking really well about what you're about to put out. It's rated highly. Every movie pundit from here to Timbuktu, I don't know why Timbuktu is the place to be, is speaking highly of it. And it's the thing leading into Fantastic Four. So it's like,
Also, talk about the ensemble cast. Florence Pugh, it has some star power. David
Mm-hmm.
Harbour has some star power. Sebastian Stan
Sebastian
has some star
Stan.
power. Those three right there, and then you have the supporting cast that maybe don't have as much star power. But I'm hearing really good things about the whole ensemble cast.
Yep.
So I do think that's going to be a factor with Florence Pugh. People really love Florence Pugh. So I can see that. Don't forget Pearline. Good Lord, don't forget Pearline. I know that's who I'm rooting to be Storm. I want her to be cast as Storm in the X-Men. I think she could nail it.
I think so too.
Thunderbolts will unfortunately steal some Cine sales this weekend. Thunderbolts is stealing. Well, I'm not say stealing. It's taking the IMAX screens from Sinners though, and that's
Yep.
where a lot of the money was coming from.
That's
For
true.
Sinners.
Yeah.
Shout out to the sisters for getting Sinners back right. Yeah, baby. It's always black women saving
Absolutely.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. Just like
I'll never
Annie.
forget her.
Just like Annie in the movie.
Yo, T, blacks.
See, you gotta. My good brother. My good
I
brother.
feel you. And Coogler was motivated to promote it since he owns it. Yes, that's also true.
Yep.
This is the most I've seen a director promote a film in forever.
Yeah, you don't usually see this, unless it is like. Well, I don't even think Nolan he doesn't even do it like that, right? So
Really, he does a few interviews sometimes, but that's about it. Speaking of promoting, how dare the Thunderbolts not include Taskmaster as they're out promoting this movie? Yeah, because they already know we all know what the business is. She getting murked. Yeah, I'm so mad that we still have not gotten Kills the Flower Moon on 4K or Knives Out 2. Criterion reached out to Apple. They said they would put out 4K of Kills the Flower Moon. I know there's an international one. I don't know why we don't have an American one. It's really, really weird.
Yeah. There's always some kind of distribution kind of thing. I don't think they're doing it because they don't want to.
Yeah. I'm seeing Sinners next Tuesday for $5 Tuesdays. Nice. I hope Sinners holds onto their one spot. I have also not been to Timbuktu or however that's Oh, man. My jokes, I guess, are not landing tonight. No, your jokes are landing tonight. I love them.
You're just a freak.
No, your jokes are definitely landing.
That was amazing. Oh, man. Okay. So let's move on to our next topic. I don't think we're going to go too long on this one, but then we're going to be talking about Oscar voting rule changes. I spelled changes wrong. Save. So that made T laugh. I love it. So yeah, this week, was it earlier this week this happened, or was it
I think this was last week.
Yeah, but the conversation has been going on basically from last week up until now. I still see people talking about this.
The conversation is so crazy that my actual coworkers who are not cinephiles brought it up to me.
That's how you know it's big. It's a big deal because when the general audience gets on it, that means people care.
I'm sorry, but let's introduce the topic.
Yeah. So basically what's happened is that the Oscars have announced that they're enforcing a new rule for the voters for every category that has to watch every single film in that category.
Which is like, why weren't you doing this before? Now, me and Zach, we talked about this, what was that, Sunday night. And I think the reason why the rule wasn't in place for the people who are Oscar voters to watch the actual film, and the reason why they're going to the lengths that they're going to make sure that they watch the film, is because nobody thought that if you were a voter that you weren't watching these movies. It's similar to a political analogy, right? So if you are a convicted, the reason why there's nothing on the books to prevent a convicted felon for running for president is because no one thought a convicted felon would run for president. Like, no one thought that someone would have the audacity to do that. But here we are. So in the same way, it's like, yeah, we didn't think we had to tell y'all to watch the movie because that's what you do here, right? Yeah, it's common sense. A lot of laws throughout the history of Earth have come from, we didn't think you would do that because that's a dumb thing to do. So in the same way, I
Well, the
think that
prime
that's
one
what's
is
happening
people
here.
who touch smoldering hot coffee and then sue the restaurant because they burn their hand touching smoldering hot coffee.
Now we
Now
got
they
to
have
put
to
coffee is hot on the cup, the coffee that you asked for.
for ask for it to be smoldering hot.
Yeah,
Like, like that's the crazy stuff where you got to make a law now that every business who sells hot stuff have to put a holder on it that says it will be. They have to put the holder to prevent you from burning yourself, and also say, "Hey, it's hot, bro."
yeah,
It's insane. So I think what people are not thinking about, I think social media and clickbait and grifting has added to this because when they were doing it in the past, we all just assumed that everybody was watching everything. But I think the reason why it's happening now is a lot of these leakers want to help give these publications headlines and social media rants, so
yep.
they're spilling it all on, right? Like even after this, right? I just read recently another article where some anonymous Oscar voters, we need to start releasing these damn names, said that
Hmm.
when they get these screeners, they just let it play and they walk away and let it play and walk away and do other stuff. It's like so even if the whole thing is like you have to watch the whole video, they're not watching the movie. So they have to find a way to enforce it where maybe you get a quiz at the end of the movie or
Hmm.
because I know that what they're doing is now is like, yes, you get your screener. We have to see that you watch it from beginning to end. But also, if you saw a movie at a festival or a movie at the movie theater, you have to show proof that you saw it. So whether it's a ticket or something. But the problem is, like, you can buy a ticket for something and then just not go.
Here's my solution, and this isn't going to work for everybody, but that's okay because certain people need to be weeded out. My
Yeah.
solution is you have these Oscar movie screenings for Oscar voters in a movie theater in California, New York, Philadelphia, and somewhere in the middle of Texas, right? And like different Milwaukee, like different places like that, where you actually have someone who works for the Oscars Association there, counting heads, taking names, who was in the theater. And if you can't make it, nigga, you can't vote. Like, and I think that
You just can't buy.
I think
That's
that's
it.
the easiest solution. Like, if you can't make it, like, because I think the annoying thing is me and you, regular Joes, right, who are not on the Oscars voting board, have seen these movies and we had to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And we go and we watch, me and you will probably watch 100 movies this year, right? And we have all of our opinions and stuff like that. And there are people out there who are hired to do this,
Yeah.
to give awards to people who are deserving, and they're not going about the business of making sure that they're actually taking it seriously. When me and
Yeah.
you will host an Oscars live stream and make lists of who we think we should win, who we think should have been nominated, blah 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 blah. We'll go through all of this to make all this Oscars content, and not even just
For
for the
free.
sake of content, because we actually enjoy doing this stuff.
We're passionate.
Meanwhile, the people
Yeah.
who are voting don't care. It's like
Yeah.
that's why it's so frustrating to people, and that's why I think like just you need to go and see this, and an
Yeah.
Oscar person will be there to check off your name and make sure you're there and take your phone when you walk in there. Like all of this stuff is like this is stuff I do every time I go to a screening, right? So it's I think it's really that simple. And also, you don't need 5,000 people voting on something either, right? So yeah,
Yeah. If you
but
are going to vote in a particular category, you have to go to the Oscar screening party of it,
right.
and you have to watch the movie because T said, what he said, what if they fall asleep during the movie? Then that's on your ass. Like, don't
Definitely.
watch this movie when you sleepy. Watch it when you have time and you can pay
Here's the
attention.
thing.
It's not like you're watching it for your enjoyment. Well, you are watching it for enjoyment, but you're not just watching it because you just threw it on. You know?
Mhm. We're going to have a Squid Game type of movie watching experience. If you fall asleep, you're eliminated. Now, if you're eliminated with violence or just asked to leave, that's something we can discuss later. But for now, if you fall asleep in the movie, you get a little, zzz, you know what I mean? Like you know how they have the 40X and they can make it rain and you get the wind blowing. Put a little zap in the chair if you fall, zzz, you know what I mean?
Oh
And you
shit.
up, handcuffs. You sitting here, right?
Oh,
You need to use the
that's too much.
bathroom. Too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like
Too bad.
we just, and this is what we have to do.
And Chillmonger brings up a good point. Even Rotten Tomatoes had to update their system because people were review bombing on the site. So they made it that you have to verify that you purchased a ticket and you have to show
Right.
proof before you do a review. You can do reviews without it, but they hide those. Like if you review a movie on Rotten Tomatoes without saying you purchased a ticket, they will hide your
You're
review.
just talking to yourself at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh snap! Having homework after watching a movie is diabolical." Not people are voting for the biggest body in movies. Like,
If that's
feel like you
all you
need
do,
it.
you know what I mean? You can't go to the Great Bake Off and not taste the cake.
Yeah, or vote for NBA player 75 all time and not know all the players.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I don't know who Hakeem Olajuwon is, so you should not be having
You
this
shouldn't be
discussion.
here. you shouldn't be here. Right.
You shouldn't be here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you had to be alive when he was playing, but you should know who he is and see at least some gameplay. You know what I mean? I've even done that. I assume that they all got together and watched the movie. No, they send screeners to these people's houses, so you can get to watch it in the comfort of your home, and they're still doing it. Who's the star of Civil War? She's a famous actress. She was Mary Jane
Kristen
Spider-Man.
Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, they asked her about it when this was coming out because she's a voter in the Oscars, and they were like, "Oh, what do you do? You're good." Oh, the water splash in your eye. You muted yourself if you're talking to me.
Nah, yeah, I just got some iced tea in my eye. It's all good.
Oh damn.
That means my vision is sweet. You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
I can see
All
clearly.
right, sir. I need you to slow it all the way down. Okay. She was talking about they asked her like, "Oh, what do you do? How do you prepare?" She's like, "Prepare what? I watch every single movie that is nominated. That's my job.
Right.
I take it seriously. Like I don't have to be on this voting body." And it's like it's true. You know what I mean?
Watch. Like listen to how crazy this is, right? Watch the movie.
And you know what's crazy? Not everyone votes on the same categories.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to watch every single movie. If
Right.
you are a director, you vote for the directing part. If you are a writer, you vote for the screenplay parts. Only people who have to vote for is the best picture. That's where everyone has to vote.
Yeah.
But if you're an actor, the Actors Guild votes for the actor nominees, the Production Guild, you know what I'm saying? So it's not even like, oh, I have to watch every single movie that's nominated.
Right.
You have to watch the ones that you're responsible for voting for. Like, man, how's that hard?
Now let me ask you this: to play devil's advocate just a little bit,
Okay.
even
Let's
though
give some plea.
Even though
Yeah.
It's stupid, right? There's 10 Best Picture movies.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of movies that are not voted for Best Picture that you also have to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There's movies that are only nominated for VFX, right? They ain't nominated for nothing else. Now, like you said, if you're in that particular field, you're only people who are voting for it, so you have no excuse. But you're also voting for, but you're also watching, if you so choose, the 10 Best Picture nominees, right?
Yeah.
Is that a little too much? Should we cut down the Best Picture? Should we cut down some of these categories, the nominees in the categories, not the category itself, so that it'll be more easy to digest all these films.
I think no,
Because imagine watching The
because
Brutalist.
yeah,
Imagine watching The Brutalist and then having to watch 9 other movies.
I get that feeling. I get that feeling because I watched the
The
Brutalist. I didn't want to watch
Brutalist.
another movie for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Um, but
that was
you are
brutal.
getting the movie sent to your house early.
That's true.
You're not going to the theater to watch the Brutalist for 3. So it means you can pause and come back. You can pause before the intermission. You can come back and finish the film. There's so much you can do.
Hmm.
And also, you get these way before it's time to vote. Like they
Yep.
announce who's in each category, and then they give you weeks before you
Oh
have to
yeah,
vote.
it's like what, 2 months out?
Yeah. So you tell me you can't watch 10 movies in 2 months? That means you don't love
Oh,
movies.
and you also, if you are a cinephile, which I would assume that you are, if you're on
Yeah.
the Oscar board, I would hope that you've already watched some of these movies just because.
Exactly. Because a lot of these movies get Oscar buzz before they're even nominated.
Hmm.
So I would think you would go and watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tennis Reaper, the dynamic dude is here. I finally got to catch your live stream for a chance. How are you? Thank you for being in the live
Doing
stream.
well,
Somebody
man.
that supports so many people in the community.
Yeah.
Every time I go on a video, he has a comment. Um, yeah, I'm glad I'm having fun having this conversation. I think this is one of our better live streams that we've done, and I'm,
Hmm.
I'm really excited. In their defense, ain't no way I'm watching a 4-hour movie named The Brutalist. Feel you, but it's your job. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I don't want to clean the bathroom at my job, but sometimes I got to. You
But
know what I
it's
mean?
your
I gotta
job.
wipe down that
Yeah.
toilet sometimes.
Yo, what is insane that's happening right now is that we're comparing cleaning the bathroom to watching The Brutalist, and I am not opposed to that analogy at all.
I
Uh,
didn't realize I was doing that,
yeah.
but
Hey.
it was a very long movie that was just solid.
Yep. Half of the movie is good. The first half. The second
Yeah, it
half.
starts. It starts. You know.
Hmm.
He said, Kenny Sparks, slow it down with that tea. Must be good, some good tea. Nice tea.
It is good tea, man. It is very
How
good tea.
much they paying them? I'm not sure how much they get paid to be on the voters' body, but they get paid.
I didn't know they were getting paid.
Yeah, they do it for free. To
I
be on the
thought they
voter
were
body,
doing
you
it
have to
for the
pay.
love.
Nah, last time I saw something that long was Batman vs Superman edition. That was brutally long. Nah, I think the Brutalist is longer than that.
Yeah, it is. Um, I think Brutus is longer than that. Part of me feels like Killers of the Flower Moon is longer than that.
Yeah,
Napoleon, I could have slit the chair next to me. I wasn't going to say what I was going to say because that was very graphic. But yeah, it was. I've seen some very long movies. Here's the thing I want to ask you, Zach.
yeah.
Of all the long movies that you've seen over the past year and some change, how many of them were actually good?
Long movie. Oh, Kills the Flower movie. Kills the Flower movie
It
was good.
was solid. Yep.
Um, Napoleon was not.
Napoleon was awful.
Um,
Yep.
The Brutalist was solid. They had me in the first half. You know what I mean? What else was a long movie? I'm trying to think about the long movies that's come out recently.
Didn't you see Amelia Perez? Wait, was that long or
Was
just
that
feel long?
long?
Was that long or
If
did it
just
just feel long?
Amelia, what are we counting as long? That's
Over
the real
3
question.
hours.
Oh
Over
no, it was
two
two.
and a half. Over, yeah,
Amelia
I
Press
would say
was
over two
two
and a half,
hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
Amelia Press was 2 hours. It just felt long.
Okay.
Wicked was about 3 hours. I don't think Wicked was 3 hours. Wicked was probably close to 3 hours.
It didn't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it was close.
Yeah.
That
I would say that's a
didn't
long.
feel long.
I would say that's a long movie, but it was also a good movie. So
Yeah, I had fun with Wicked. So I didn't feel long for me. I think I think the pacing in the middle of the film kind of dragged just a tiny bit, but other than
hmm.
that, he said Wicked was too long. You're not a Wicked fan, T? Book Girds and Purrs says that's wild. Explains so much about what movies and actors get snubbed and lost. It definitely explains Zoe Saldana winning over Cynthia Erivo. Honestly, Zoe Saldana shouldn't have been nominated at all.
No.
Amelia Perez is a trash can film, and she's the best part of it, but she's not good enough to overcome how bad the film is.
Yeah. My general philosophy, I think you basically just said this, is if you give a great performance in a terrible movie, I'm sorry, but no. Like
Yeah,
I don't care. You can give the
it
best
has to
performance.
be generational. It has to be
Yeah.
generational. And if you're giving a generational performance, the movie's automatically gonna have to be good. Like there's no way. I
Mhm.
can't think of a person that gave a generational performance and the movie was bad.
That's a good question. I'm going to Google that. Great performances and bad movies.
Yeah. So, and guys, let us know in the comments below, in the live stream chat, performances that you thought were like generational, phenomenal, but the movie was actually bad. That moment definitely felt like a crime. I knew it was happening because she was winning everything leading up to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I would have given it to Cynthia Erivo myself, but I don't want to have given it to Zoe Saldana. You
That
better
was for
say
best
Return of the King.
actress.
Was she best actress? No, she was best supporting. So she won over Ariana Grande, which she shouldn't have won
Ariana
over her
Grande
either.
was way better than.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
She almost made that movie. You better say Return of the King was better than Return of the King is way better than Napoleon. It's not even a competition.
Yeah.
The first half of Wicked almost killed me. Oh, he did not like that.
Oh
Oh, the
wow.
second half was Pete. Oh, okay, so he didn't like the
Okay.
first half, but he liked the second half. Hey, Epitastic Joshua, what's up? Welcome
Yo,
to
what
the
up,
live
Evan?
stream. It's nice to see you here. He said, "Hey there, finally saw Sinners." Oh, let us know because I know you were weird. You were scared about it because you thought it might have been like Antebellum or something like that. Which is nothing like that. I hope you know that. How did you like Sinners? Daryl know in the Five Bloods, the movie wasn't bad. It just was shoddily put together. Interesting. That's the first time I've heard of that.
I heard of what?
The
Oh, I
Five
heard
Bloods
that
being
the movie
shoddily
was
put
bad.
together.
Nah, I love that film, and Delroy Lindo should have
Yeah.
been nominated for it for sure.
I only heard
Um,
great things about the Five Bloods. I never heard about it being put together bad.
yeah. Um, so I found this list of
Yeah, Oppenheimer was
actors.
well. He doesn't like Oppenheimer, but yeah,
So I'm about to share this just so we can have this conversation real quick
yeah. Let's do it. I'm having fun. Aside
because
from
a
a few
lot of
issues, I
this
did. Yes.
I'm having a lot of issues with this list, which will make it a lot more fun. So let's just share this list real quick. So the list I'm
Yeah.
sharing y'all is wait, I was already sharing the screen. The list I'm sharing y'all is great performances in bad movies, which I'm looking at this list and I'm like, what are y'all
This movie not
smoking?
bad.
So let's go here and here we go. Right. So
So Wolverine.
let's
What the
talk.
hell?
Dan Aykroyd in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. What are we talking about?
What?
What are we talking about?
This list is already bullshit.
That's
There
the
was
first
no
name on here
what? Dan in Frozen Empire.
of all movies.
What did he do in that movie that was so great?
I don't remember him in that movie. I know he was in
The
it. I
only
don't remember him.
the only performance I think was great was the what's her name, Maggie Grace, the young girl, the blonde, the one that was trying to have sex with the ghost.
Yeah, she
She
was good in the movie.
she was
That's just a
have
wild
left
description.
lesbian sex with a ghost.
Yeah. Ellen Bernst in The
He's like,
Exorcist
move on.
Believer. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I can see that.
That's fine. Steve Buscemi
Oh
in
god, that
Armageddon.
picture.
See, here's the issue I have with this.
Armageddon's not a
Armageddon's
bad
great.
movie.
What are you talking about? Armageddon's a great movie. 5 stars. No. Okay, Peter Cullen Transformers franchise. Yes, I'll have to give it that because he voices Optimus perfectly. Because he's Optimus basically. Let's see. Actually, let me zoom this back down. Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby. I have seen The Great Gatsby. I've seen obviously Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby. I don't remember his performance, but he's Leonardo DiCaprio, so I doubt he gave a
I
bad
guess he's
performance.
bad.
I don't know if it's bad. I know a lot of people don't like it.
Okay.
This I agree with. Now, is it a game-changing performance? No, but Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin and Daredevil was actually
Mm,
really freaking good. He was great in that movie. We got Idris Elba in The Dark Tower. I've never seen this movie, but
I haven't seen it
I've
yet.
heard no one say it was good. All
Yeah.
right, so neither one of us has seen. Martin Freeman in the Hobbit trilogy. That doesn't surprise me that he's good in the Hobbit trilogy. But I
Yeah.
have not heard that people like the Hobbit trilogy, so I guess it makes sense. Jake Gyllenhaal in Demolition.
Never
I've
heard
never
that
seen
movie.
it. Um,
What do you think about the Dark Tower? What
Here's
do
the
you
one that I have contention with: Tom Hardy in Venom.
think? I agree.
No, he's
I agree.
awful in these movies.
No, he's not.
Awful,
He's phenomenal.
awful.
I say that as someone that's never seen the movie, so I'm just trolling.
Oh, that's right. You didn't see the movie. Look at you. Dustin Hoffman in Hook. I remember Hook ish. I remember the fact that I've seen Hook. I don't remember Hook. But
I've
yeah, I'm
seen
sure.
video of somebody saying Hook is not a bad movie, so it's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's the other thing. I've never heard. It's not that I've never heard someone say that Hook is a bad movie. It's just every time I've heard somebody say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? So yeah, Hugh Jackman, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now here's the thing: is Hugh Jackman great as Wolverine?
Yes.
Yes. Is he great in this specific movie as Wolverine? No. I don't think anybody was good in this movie at all. I don't think anybody who was in this movie can be like, yeah, I did a good job. No, he was awful.
I think he was awful. I agree with them.
Angelina Jolie as Maleficent. I've never seen him. So have you seen him?
No, I haven't seen any of the Maleficent movies.
This one I 1000% agree with. Robert Juliet.
There we go. This is a good one.
And Bison.
This is a good one.
Phenomenal.
He was acting.
He was acting. And he was in a totally different movie from everybody else. He took Street Fighter seriously. Yeah. Everybody else was just BSing.
Yeah, I heard Maleficent is bad. I heard the sequel was bad. I've never heard that the first one was bad.
There's not a sequel to this.
Hmm?
There's not a sequel. There's the Chun-Li movie that came out like maybe 20 years later.
No, Maleficent.
Oh, Maleficent. Gotcha, my bad.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton in The Flash. He was good. Transcendent? I don't know. But he essentially just repeated all of his greatest hits, which he did well.
Yeah, he did well. But I would say Ezra Miller is the person they should have picked. I know people don't like him, but I thought he was great in that movie. And it was bad.
Yeah, he was actually a really good part. Ezra, that is, good part of his movie. Yeah. But, you know, he was out there committing crimes. Val Kilmer, The Doors. I've never seen it or heard of it, actually. Al Pacino and Jack and Jill. So, what? Now, the funny thing is, I've seen this scene of him in the Dunkin' Donuts musical commercial thing, and it is funny, but be serious. Ray Park in Star Wars Episode 1.
It's not a bad movie?
Wait, I'm sorry?
Episode 1 a bad movie?
Yes. Episode 1 is a horrifying film. It is horrifyingly bad. It is a terrible, terrible movie. Outside of the final fight and the pod racing, it's awful. Like it's a really bad movie. So is Episode 2. Like the only good performances in here are, I guess I would, yeah. I know Qui-Gon. People like Qui-Gon because it was a good, performance. People like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, so that's a good performance. But as far as the movie is concerned, 9, which is German for no. Chris Pine and Don't Worry, Darling. I don't think I saw this movie.
Yeah, he did really. He was actually a lot of Florence Pugh and him were really good in that movie.
Okay. Christopher Plummer, All the Money in the World. I have not seen this movie,
Yeah,
but it's Christopher Plummer, so I believe it.
yeah.
Who was this? Eddie Redmayne, Jupiter Ascending. I've never seen Jupiter Ascending.
No, I haven't, but I
But
believe it. Eddie
also,
Redmayne's always good.
yeah, he's good and everything.
I like Don't Worry,
Um,
Darling too. T. I agree with you.
yo, they played in my face with this image. I thought this was Die Hard. I thought this was him falling off the building in Die Hard. So I was about to be like, "What are we talking about?" But yeah, I've never. No, yeah, I have seen Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He used to come on UPN all the time. I don't remember it, but Alan Rickman is good in everything that he's in. So, woo! Tim Roth in Planet of the Apes. He
I
was
haven't seen
actually
that
good in
version.
this movie. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't dislike this movie. A lot of people hate this movie. I'm not one of
Yeah,
them. I'm not saying it's great, but it's not as bad as people. What did he do?
he was good. No, he was good in this movie. He was good in this movie.
He was good, but
What's up, Dell?
he was all right. What's up, Dell? For everybody who's coming in or who's just now joining, we somehow got into a conversation of great performances in bad movies. I looked up an article about this,
Yeah.
and we're just going through it because we've seen some asinine takes in here, and also some takes that we agree with. Mark Strong
So,
as Green Lantern.
you want to shout out Real Watkins? What's up, Real?
What
Welcome to the
up,
live stream.
Real? Actually, the best scene that he's
And
in
I
is the
agree,
post
Real.
credit scene.
I think Planet Apes Chosen One was all right, but I reviewed it last year, lead up to Kingdom. Nice.
Yeah, I
I
never
love
thought it
Tim
was a
Ross. I haven't
bad
seen
movie.
any of the recent Planet 8 movies. You should watch the
You
recent Planet.
should.
Those 4 films are great.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Yeah, I always get them mixed up because the first one, there's like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then there's Rise of the Planet of the Apes,
Rise.
and Dawn
Rise
and
is
Rise
first.
mean the same thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, but Christopher Walken and Jiggly, I've never seen it. I have heard that movie is
I heard that
horrible.
movie was terrible.
I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yeah.
I think that's the list. Are they going into a whole different article? Anyway, so yeah, that was just a crazy sidebar. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to think off the top of my head, great performances in bad movies. I can't really place one. Part of me wants to go to Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin, because that is a monumental performance. But yeah, that's about it.
I have a new game that I want to play with you. We talked
New
about
game.
this.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be called, and we're going to get a graphic for it later, but this is for you guys too to answer in the live chat. It's called Guess the Movie. And we're going to have different versions of this well, I don't know about each week, but each time we do it.
Yep.
And we're going to do it with the MCU today. I'm going to name a villain, and Kenny Sparks has to guess what movie that villain was in. So,
You sure? Because this is going to be very easy for me.
It's going to be very.
I'm like an MCU encyclopedia.
Okay, all right. Let's
You know
go. Let me find my first villain for you.
Find them.
What film was Justin Hammer in?
Justin Hammer, Iron Man 2.
All right. All right. About Emil Blonsky.
Emil Blonsky was Hulk, the Incredible Hulk.
All right. You know your people. Brock Rumlow.
You said who?
Brock.
You said Rumlow?
Yeah, Brock Rumlow.
Brock Rumlow? Was his name Brock? Well, I'm sorry. Let me just answer. Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Nice, nice,
But
nice, 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 nice,
I didn't
nice.
know. I didn't realize his first name was Brock.
Yeah, Mr. Paradox.
Mr. Paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Paradox.
Gave you some, yeah, gave
Oh,
you some.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ah, he got it. He got it. He got it. Okay. Um, damn, I can't say that person's name. And last but not least, Aisha.
Aisha.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvels. Hmm?
No, that's not the movie.
Wait. Don't tell me. Oh, I'm sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And technically
There
2,
you
because he's in
go.
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in both of them. Oh,
It was
you did a
Dark
good
Ben who
job.
was in the Marvels.
Yes, 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 yes.
She's
I can
black,
see
so
how you
I
forget.
just assume her name was Aisha.
What is what?
Aisha. Dark Ben is black. He's like,
I can't
oh yeah, Aisha.
believe
I know Aisha.
can't believe you.
This is a sick Negro.
What?
Just sick. Have you seen? He said his name is Brock. Yeah, Brock Rumlow.
Is
I
that
couldn't
right?
believe it.
I'm having a hard time believing it.
Caesar Planet Apes is the best movie trilogy to me. That's my favorite movie trilogy as well.
I agree.
Hey, we got Mr. Sparks in the chat. Yeah,
You're
Darth, at least when I was a kid, being forced to watch Star Wars was the only interesting character. I was so upset when they killed him off so quickly.
Maul. Darth Maul, yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they said Alden was bad in Robin Hood. Prince of Moon. No. They were saying he was the only great performance in a movie that was bad. Not that he
Yeah,
was bad.
those were great performances in bad movies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Chadwick Boseman in Get Out. The movie isn't good, but he's phenomenal. Wait, Chadwick Boseman in Get Out?
Get Out?
What?
You mean Get On Up?
Oh, maybe someone Get On
Oh
Up
yeah,
because he
he
was
said
not.
right under that he meant Get On Up.
Oh, okay. It was good. Okay.
I haven't seen it. There's a couple Chadwick movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen 42. I haven't seen Get On Up. No, yeah, I think that's it.
Mission Impossible is the best movie. The
I haven't seen
best. I'm
Draft
not sure
Day.
which. Kenny, so happy we had the exchange on Threads and discover your channel. You guys are awesome. Thank
Hey
you.
man, welcome. Happy to see you,
Welcome,
man.
man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also,
Hopefully we're also enough for you to subscribe.
I love your logo. Your logo is dope, man.
Yeah, it stands out. I keep looking at it. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. Wait, Real, do you have a YouTube channel? I want to subscribe to you if you do.
Mm-hmm.
Get On Up
Also,
was
quiet as
okay.
it's kept, pretty much everybody in this chat are YouTubers. So yeah, check out each other's channels.
I just
Books,
watched 42 a few
gurus, and
weeks ago and it was
purrs.
amazing. Nice.
Nice.
What you said?
Miss Gurus and Purrs. Do you also have a YouTube channel? Because I would like to check it out for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, definitely. You have a very YouTube channel name.
That's why
If
I
you
asked.
don't.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move
Yeah, you're
on.
gonna have to come harder with the games next time, man. And
This
you
was
might
just
want
a
to do
test.
something outside of the MCU because, like I said, I'm an
Yeah.
encyclopedia. You know what
You
I'm
know what?
saying?
I'm gonna do the DCU next time.
I would probably ace that as well, but we'll see. That
We'll
we'll
see.
see. Yeah,
We'll see. Because Aisha and Paradox, you had to think a little bit, yeah?
yeah. That's because one of them isn't a good villain. I can't say that. Mr. Paradox is fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool.
Aisha
He
was
wasn't
actually pretty cool. Actually,
yeah. Especially in volume 2. And then she was
yeah.
cool in volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna go into our. Is this our subject of the day?
It's our final
Yeah,
final
subject of
countdown.
the day,
Final
and
countdown.
that is the final countdown. We're gonna rank the movies that we saw in April 2025. If I can
Mm-hmm.
find the list.
And we
Did I
also
find
want
a
to
list?
know what your guys'
Yeah, your
opinions are
rankings.
on each of these movies as we talk about them. Some of them we'll talk about longer than others because some we've talked about extensively in past
Yeah,
uh, uh, what are those things called? Live streams. Like for
yeah.
example, we won't be talking long about
Sinners.
Sinners or Warfare, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so we're just going to go
Yeah.
for it. Let us know what you guys think of these movies as we rank them. If we're crazy, where we put them. If we're not, you know what I'm saying? Just let us know. All right. So what we got up first?
We got to first the amateur. You saw this movie, I did not. So talk about the amateur.
The Amateur is The Amateur is fine. The Amateur is a movie that it's not a bad movie per se. It just doesn't do anything particularly interesting or memorable. You're going to hear me say that about another movie that I saw this month as well. Rami Malek is fine in the film, but his character isn't particularly interesting. So the rest of the movie isn't particularly interesting because we're following him. They do a good job of
Hmm.
establishing his character, making like he's an introvert who's very intelligent, works for the intelligence community or CIA rather, and he's trying to find his wife who was murdered in a terrorist attack. It's not a spoiler; it's in the trailer. Um, and yeah, he sets off to try to find her, but he has no combat skill whatsoever, nor does he gain any. So yeah, that's pretty much the movie.
He
He has to
doesn't get
use his
any.
brain to find his wife's killers, and it's what I likened it to in my review was I was about to say Manchurian Candidate, but that's totally incorrect. Was Law Abiding Citizen, but less interesting, right? There's this revenge plot and all this other stuff, but I didn't care. So where I would have ranked this movie is Matinee. Wait,
Okay.
which one?
That's
No, I'm
not
sorry,
bad.
Stream. Stream. Where I would rank this movie is a
Stream movie.
Stream. Wait for streaming, and it doesn't break our thing. Yeah, go support original movies on stream. It goes to the theaters because it is in fact a remake, which I didn't find out until well after the fact. And actually, I saw the trailer for the original movie. It's a much more interesting looking movie. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the first 11 minutes of this movie will shock you. The last 10 minutes of this movie will send you into like a mental paralysis. And I was like, oh wow. That's the
They
trailer.
out here selling.
Those 70s, those 80s, 90s trailers, they'd be like, in a world. Yeah, like they used to sell them. Trailers we get these days is like, if y'all want to see it, you know what I mean, y'all can go see it, but
Yeah.
we need
You
that
don't
in
have
a
to kill
world back.
yourself. Word facts. The next movie up is going to be Ugly Stepsister. That's what that poster is right there. And I had a great time with this film. I lucked out and got to see it as a screener a couple weeks before it came out, and I had a good time. They're talking about the poll.
Oh,
I put a poll in how many movies you've seen this month. I put 0, 5, 10, and 15. He's like, I did too. And that's fine. If the number's not in the poll, put it in the chat. How
next
many
time we'll
movies you
do
saw in
something like
April?
less than 10 or something like that. Or
Yeah, because I saw 7. You saw 9
I saw nine 2025 movies this month.
movies. Yeah, and I saw 7 2025 movies. But Ugly Stepsister was really, really good. It is a historical, fantastical version of Cinderella with some body horror, and it takes a lot of elements from the Victorian era and how women used to have to treat themselves to fit beauty standards and make it into the body horror. And it was gross. It was funny. It was very engaging, and it was really well made on a really low budget from a first-time director.
Mm.
The performances are all really solid, and it's basically all the beats of Cinderella, but told from the point of view of the ugly stepsister, one of the ugly stepsisters, and her trying to help her family gain money after Cinderella's father passed away and left them with nothing.
Gee.
And it really touches on the beauty standards and the pressures that women have to do to keep the household together, which is still reflective of the times today. And they did a really good job. The last 10 minutes is some of the most gross things I've seen in film in a while, and I've seen 2 body horror films this year that grossed me out. one is called Grafted, and that's on Shutter right now. And then now this one, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the body horror films. I'm having a lot of fun with them, especially when they're really really good. I also saw Street Trash this year, which is also a zombie body horror film, and that film was just really silly and fun.
I haven't heard of that
Um,
one.
yeah, it's a sequel to a movie from like the 70s. And they made it recently, and it has like slight connections to the old film, but it's like really silly. It doesn't take itself seriously. The gore is super over the top. Like the people were spurting out purple, green, and red blood. That's how
I'm
over the
good.
top it was.
I think I'm good.
The Ugly Stepsister sounds interesting. Yeah, man, it's in theaters right now. It came out the same week as Sinners, which was obviously a mistake. And it's a really solid start. I thought it was a great movie. I think at first I was like, oh, this is solid, but as the movie progressed, it got really, really good to me. So I would say for that film, I would put it as like a matinee. I think if you can catch it in the afternoon, get it for like a cheaper ticket price, I think it's well worth it. I think the cinematography and the scope, not the scope, but the set design of the film is worth it to see in the theaters because they took some time and care into this. The next film is Kenny Sparks' film that he saw that I haven't got to see, and that's G20. Talk about G20.
G20 stars Viola Davis as the president of the United States who gets attacked at the G20 summit. And she's a former Army veteran who was like, after Secret Service, I got my own gun, nigga. So she goes out and starts stopping a terrorist plot. It's a fun movie. It's pretty solid. It's not something I would like rave about necessarily, but it's also not the worst movie I've ever seen at all. Like it's not I wouldn't say it's not particularly like good, but it's not also not bad.
Miss Sparks said it was great.
She loves bad black movies, so she'll have me watching something like Black Zombie Hookers from Outer Space or something like that, and I'll be like, sure, we can watch it, and then I'll have fun. I have fun watching Tubi movies with her. It's awesome, but yeah, in our home, the movie taste depends on me. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I can hear her yelling downstairs, by the way. You, what up, Ace? But yeah, so yeah, G20 solid. I would give G20 a stream as well, and it makes sense because it is actually currently streaming.
Which one did you prefer, amateur or G20?
The amateur. Well,
Okay.
no, you know
Okay.
what? G20. I would say G20.
G20.
Because not because
Oh.
it's a better movie necessarily, but because I actually had a better time watching G20. If that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
She said, "Hey, I can pick good movies."
She's been saying that to me for going on 12 years now, and that has yet to be the case. But I love her. You know what I mean?
Oh wait, 3 forgot about G20. It's fun, not necessarily good. That's exactly what Kenny just
That's a
said.
perfect explanation.
G20's on Amazon, right? Yes, it's on
Yep,
Amazon Prime.
that's right. Yeah, it's worth it.
We got to make
It's worth
sure
checking out.
we say where we can watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We should definitely do that.
I just choose not to for the plot, as the kid says. I just chose. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay, so the next movie is a film that I only saw, and that is The Rule of Jenny Penn.
Mm-hmm.
This is a film that surprised me. It's starring John Lithgow and one other gentleman. I'm not remembering his name right now, but he's also a famous actor that's older. And he's the main character was a judge. He had maybe a stroke or a heart attack while he was in court. And he ends up becoming not paralyzed, but like not able to like help himself by himself all the time. So he goes into a home. He is one of those kind of Scrooge kind of characters that doesn't have any family. He never had a wife, didn't have any kids, so he has no one checking on him. And the movie essentially, the atmosphere is about the darkness and the scariness of growing old, losing yourself, and being in a nursing home that is overrun with a lot of old people and not enough staff to take care of everyone,
Sheesh.
which is a great exploration on its own. But The movie's not totally on that, where it's kind of like a pseudo slash, where John Lithgow, who up until Sinners was the best performance I saw all year, where he's playing this maniac who lives there as well, who is just terrorizing these old people. When I say terrorizing, there's a scene where you know how some old people, because they're getting old, they don't have control of their bowels. They'll have like a line
Mm-hmm.
that they pee through. So when they
Yeah.
sleep, they don't pee on themselves. He
Mm-hmm.
comes in the room and he pulls on that and rings it up and down
Hey man.
just to mess with the dude.
Hey man.
Yeah. That's the least of what he does in this film. He's just a terrible person and none of the staff believes that he's done anything. So he's
Leave
just
these old
terrorizing
hoes
these older
alone.
people. Yeah, and he's terrorizing all these old people, and the main character's like, I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm gonna make sure that he gets busted. And it's a great film. I had a really good time with it. It moves a little slow, but it's old people, so it's expected. But it was just really unique, and it had two really great central performances.
That's
Sounds like
fair.
a horror movie. Yeah, I would say it has horror aspects to it. I would say it's more of a thriller. There's not really any jump scares or anything like that.
Sorry.
But there's not really any gore or anything like that. So I wouldn't say it's like a straight up horror film. But I would say I would highly recommend The Rule of Jenny Penn. It's on streaming, so I would say go check it out on Shudder. I haven't seen Amateur and G20, but I feel like it's probably been watched, so I'm gonna put it here for right now. And yeah, highly recommend it. Would I've liked to see it in theaters? I think because the slow nature of it, I think it's a better watch at home.
Mm.
Joe Nate said, "What's the movie? The movie name is The Rule of Jenny Penn." And what Jenny Penn is also what he does with it. It's like a doll that he has his hand in that he talks through. Creepy and weird. He makes people lick its asshole. It's crazy.
Time out. We got children in here. And
Nope.
even if we didn't, I'm in here.
I don't want to hear this.
You gotta
I'm just telling the truth.
You're the dirty little freaks. Filthy little freaks.
I ain't lick no assholes. F them kids. Damn. Okay.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna move on to the worst movie that I've seen in 2025 so far, and that is Holland. Amazon Prime Video exclusive, did not make it in theaters, starring Nicole Kidman and the guy who played the werewolf in Werewolf by Night, and some other people that are famous, but I don't remember their names. This is an entry into the Nicole Kidman cinematic universe of being a disgruntled housewife. She lives I think this was in the 90s, and
First of all, that's hilarious.
basically she got bored and she was just like, yeah, I'm not really living my fulfilled life. I'm just doing housewife shit. And my husband's just living and my son's just living and I want some excitement. So she starts investigating her husband and having an affair with her coworker. And then she finds out that he's doing something shifty. So she starts going through his office. And it's kind of like those movies we've seen in the past that, the wife gets in over her head and discovers something about her husband that she didn't want to discover. And yeah, interesting premise. The cinematography was great. Obviously, these are great actors. It was just absolutely too slow. They took too long to get to what was going on with the husband. The times where she was discovering stuff was not exciting. The tension wasn't built well. It wasn't held well. I never felt like she was ever going to get in trouble, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The most tension-filled moment was also one of the worst moments in the film was when she was having her little affair moment with the guy from Werewolf by Night, and these racists came to his apartment and started throwing beans at his window.
No.
Yeah, because he's Spanish, and
that's foul.
the reason why that's the worst moment in the movie because that happens and there's never any reference to why it happened or any repercussions or anything else. So it's just like that happened, and then that was it. So, this was just a huge disappointment because the director who directed this movie, their first film, I liked a lot. So the fact that this was just such a letdown and writing wise, directing wise, and everything, it was just the worst movie I've seen. Not the racism and wasting $100 on beans in this economy. Facts and wasting racism. Like you do racist moments in a film and then it just don't lead to anything. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so Holland is a huge skip. Don't waste your time. You know me, right? Like people say, "Oh, you like movies too much," which is a wild to say that I like movies too much.
How do you like movies?
And and like I'm too nice to movies. So like if I'm too nice to movies, I'm telling you this is trash. Don't bother.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you are very nice to movies.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give you that.
Legend of Ochi or Uchi Wally. It's your turn.
Ochi Wally Wally, Ochi Bang Bang. So the Legend of Ochi, the Legend of Ochi is a really fun film, really good film. Essentially, it's about a little girl finding an endangered species in the woods who is thought to have mystical powers and is responsible for the death of Willem Dafoe's wife person. The little girl is Willem Dafoe's daughter. These are not spoilers, by the way. So Willem Dafoe was like, "I'm gonna kill the Ochi," and the little girl finds the Ochi. Was like, "I'm gonna take you home, Mr. Ochi," and that's essentially the movie. It's not a movie it's not a story that you haven't heard before, but it is, funny. It is a really funny movie. Willem Dafoe carries his film. Wolf
As he normally
Hard.
does.
What is his name?
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Jim Bag. Finn Balor. Finn Wolfhard is in this
He's
movie.
Finn Balor?
Physically.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Finn Wolfhard is in this movie physically. But why is he here is the question. Like, he does nothing in this film. But other than that, I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth a trip to the theater. I saw it on Saturday night, and I had a really good time with it. And it does a thing that I really enjoy, which is this. You guys know me. Some of you guys don't know me. The thing I hate the most is a good poster or good artwork for a movie that's wasted. And thankfully, this poster is dope, and so is the movie. So yeah. So
you never want to see a great poster and the movie's trash.
Yeah. The Damned. But yeah, so that's my
movie's not trash, but that's you don't like that
it's
movie.
not trash. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be. That's fair. That's fair. I would put this movie in matinee. I would definitely go check this out. It's better than a streaming movie. Yeah, for sure.
So we're going with the matinee. I don't know if it's better than Ugly Stepsister, but I'll put it here for now.
Sure, no problem.
Let's see. Where's the controls? Next is Drop. That's you too.
Drop. So here's the thing. A lot of people like this movie. I do not. I found this movie to be annoying as hell. And the reason is its premise about the young lady receiving a drop messages, giving her instructions, or else her child at home will die by an assassin that's already in the home. It's in the trailer. It was interesting to start, but they never really did any interesting with those like instructions that they were giving the young lady. And by the time, like, if you're movie savvy, or if you're if you're movie savvy, you've seen enough movies, you picked out the villain in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like it's like that's the guy, and unfortunately, that was indeed the guy or gal. So it's like it's fine. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I didn't particularly enjoy it. And also there's a situation where like, so she's on a date during this drop situation when all this is happening, and I didn't believe that the date wouldn't have left with the amount
Mhm.
of nonsense that had went on. I'm like, there's no
Yeah,
way this person isn't leaving.
it's still here.
Is still here. Yeah. So it just kind of like it stretched it abused suspension of disbelief, right? It tried to kill it. So yeah, that's kind of where I kind of fell a little on the opposite side of a lot of people when it comes to this movie.
Real Axe, I didn't get a chance to watch Drop. Are there at least good moments of tension or not?
I don't know. I think for a lot of people there is because a lot of people do like this movie. For me, I think at a certain point I had checked out of the like,
Mm,
oh, is this suspenseful or not? At that point, I was just like, how bad is this movie going to get? Um,
mm,
yeah, and like I said, like I always say, I never walk into a movie not wanting to like it. I always want to like a movie. So when they're disappointing, then that's actually disappointing. But yeah, I would say you see for yourself. Um, and make up your own decision because
you know.
just because I didn't like something doesn't mean that you won't enjoy it.
Yeah. And Della Movie says the trailer for Drop made me feel like I've seen the whole thing. Do you agree with that? Do you think the trailer showed everything?
The trailer did show everything. Even like the money shot of the trailer, it just like kind of becomes less important by the
Exciting.
time it happens. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. That did happen in the trailer. All right, cool.
Gotcha. I enjoyed the movie. Some parts were predictable, though. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so where would you put Drop?
Stream for me personally.
Okay. Sounds like
We
it's
had a
at the
lot of
end of
stream
stream,
this
the
month,
way you just talked about it. Yeah.
which is unusual. We usually have a lot of like matinee full price.
Yeah. Rough month. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Until Dawn. We both saw this movie. I will talk about it first. Until Dawn. I've never played the video game. I've seen people play it, like watch let plays and things like that. So I kind of had an idea what it was about. This is not. I'll say this is not a great adaptation of the game because it's kind of its own original story. It feels like David Sandberg, who's the director of Lights Out and Shazam, had this story and he couldn't get it made. So he heard that they were trying to make Until Dawn and they couldn't get that made. And they said, let's work together and make this movie, right? And we'll
Right.
take bits and pieces from the game and put it in there. And hopefully the video game fans are happy. But with me not being a video game fan, I had a lot of fun with
Yeah.
like 80 to 85% of this film. And it had one of the most shocking moments that I saw in theaters with explosions. I'm not going to say what
Oh
the explosion
yeah.
was.
I was gonna
That
ask you what
shit,
it was, but I didn't want to spoil it for people. But yeah, that
but
was
saying it that way, that was wild.
that was
Because it was
wild.
wild because at that point, the horror aspect of it was stuff you've seen in other horror gory movies.
Yeah.
And what they did, the explosion wasn't like not something you never seen, but the way it came in and how unexpected it was and how gory it was, although it was okay and it was fun. The movie
Hmm.
had some fun aspects to it. I think it was when it got towards the end, where it kind of like ditched all of its premise and it ditched all of its character interactions and got into like the stereotypical horror finale where like that's where the movie faltered. They kind of fumbled and jumbled the bag
Yeah.
there because it was so unique up until that point and they couldn't hold on to the premise and the uniqueness that the movie had. And then also the characters are so paper thin that you're not like I was rooting for them because I was like, these are okay people. Like they don't
Yeah.
deserve
They're
what they're
solid
going
people.
they're not people. None of them. Well, one guy was kind of trash, but other than
Hmm.
that, he was kind of making sense too. Other than it was people and they're
Yeah.
attractive people. But other than that, it's where they fumbled a little bit. But
Let
yeah,
me
go
ask
on.
you
We
this.
talk about it with it.
Well, yeah. Let me ask you this because I also enjoyed this movie.
Yeah,
I had a good time. I did not play the game beforehand, so I had no
yeah,
prior expectations for it to follow a particular storyline. So I went in basically like, just tell me a story, and I thought the story that you told me was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like the greatest thing in the world. It won't be anywhere near like a top 10 for me, but I had a good time at the movies, and that's what's most important.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. So there's a period of time. So like Zach explained, there's a time loop element where essentially you have to survive the night or several nights of different types of horrific kind of happenings, right? In a movie, this isn't like a spoiler, it's just a thing. In the movie, there's kind of like a montage towards the end of the different types of things that they went through.
That's where they messed up.
Was it me, or were those more interesting than the ones that they actually showed us?
Yeah, that's where they messed up. That's
Yeah.
where they messed up. That should have never been the montage. That should have been the movie.
Because
That-
those were like, oh wow, those are wow,
They look-
like that's crazy.
Yeah, it felt like maybe they wanted to do it and
Yeah.
they didn't have the budget to pull it
Yeah,
off.
that
Because I
makes
don't think
sense.
this movie is pretty expensive. Let me see.
I
What's
doubt
this
it.
called? And like none of the actors are like super famous. I've seen some of them before, but none of them are like famous for film until Dawn budget. So I think it was like, oh, we have all these cool ideas. Yeah, it was $15 million. That's not that much.
Oh, 15?
Uh,
Wow. They did a
yeah.
pretty good job for $15 million.
Yeah, and it made $8 million first weekend, so it's going to be profitable
Yeah.
because it made
Oh,
$8
yeah.
million. It's probably
Yeah.
going to drop to $4 million next week. That's what 12, and then it's going to probably go back to $20 million before it hits VOD, and it's going to make bad money on VOD. People are going to rent the shit out of this.
I hope that it does. I'm not sure that it will hit 20 million because it has so much competition. Between Sinners, people going for a third viewing or a first, and then Thunderbolts comes out this weekend.
Yeah.
And then you got other things like that we talked about with the Legend
The
of
Accountant
Ochi,
2,
The Accountant 2. I don't know, man. It might take
Minecraft.
It might take a serious hit. But I do hope that it does make back its budget. But yeah.
It was fun.
All right. So where are we putting this?
The hallway sequence from the montage gave me goosebumps. Yes,
Yeah.
the red with that shit looked crazy. I was like, that's what we need to see.
That's what we should have saw.
In the game, you can choose who lives or dies. Each night, they show a clip of this guy, and he asks you what your worst fears, and you have to choose and what's presented in the game. See, like when you say that, I can see where they pulled from,
Yeah,
and added it into the movie. But I don't know. I think it would have been hard to pull that off in a 2-hour movie, or maybe I don't even know how long this movie was. It probably wasn't even 2 hours.
yeah.
Oh wait, Until Dawn made $18 million worldwide. I forgot
Oh
about the
yeah,
worldwide
it's
box
going to do
office.
fine.
It's good. I forgot. Wait, it made more internationally. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
So
going to
it's
do
good.
fine.
That's the thing. Like these movies are so cheap that they always do well. That's why people
Yeah.
make horror movies.
Yep.
So yeah, it's doing fine. So it's doing well. But yeah, well, how do you feel? Do you have anything else you want to say about Until Dawn?
No. I think we talked about it pretty well.
Do you think it's a streaming movie or do you think it's a matinee?
I think it could be either one. To be honest with you, it definitely didn't ruin my day. That's for sure. It actually had a really good time.
You know.
I actually had a really good time seeing it. But I would say go to the movies, man. Go to the movies. Go see this in the movies. Go see a matinee on
I would move up rule of Danny Penn as well.
On a Wednesday afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Word. I feel like it's not too bad. And honestly, that scene I'm talking about, the explosion scene, my audience gasped real
so
hard.
Did I. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, me neither. It was really, really good. Yeah. David Sandberg is a great director, and that's what saved this film.
Honestly. That's who did this? Wow.
Yeah. Shazam, Lights Out, one of the scariest shorts I've ever seen in my life. Next up is The Accountant 2.
Nice. So The Accountant 2, you didn't see this, right?
No.
The Accountant 2 is like a video game, not a video game cutscene, but it's like playing Spider-Man 2, the video game on PS5. And you beat the story mode, you knocked Venom out, you took out Craven, and then after that, you beat the game, story mode's over, and then you what you have left is these little Mysterio things on the side that you can complete if you want to complete the game.
Mm,
And it's
get
like,
a little trophy.
okay, I can do that, but that's not particularly memorable. Like,
Mm,
so this movie is basically like a side quest. There's nothing about this particular movie that is as interesting as the first movie. They do a good job with like some of the interpersonal communication between the brothers, but that
I
kind
heard
of
the chemistry was
becomes
great.
the movie essentially, and it
Mm,
kind of changes the complete tone from the original movie that we saw. And there's this whole like child trafficking angle to this movie, and there's an
yeah.
assassin, and there's all this other stuff, and the movie oftentimes completely forgets about any of that. It's like, oh, that's right. There was a child trafficking ring that we were trying to find. That's yeah. But anyway, you didn't call me, man, and we're brothers. It was like it was a lot of that. You know what I mean? And so it's not. I'm going to say this for like the 50th time. This is not a bad movie, but it's not a particularly good movie. It's like I said, it's a side quest. You could literally live your life and never see this movie. Um, I compared it in my review to Beverly Hills Cop 3, which honestly kind of is a bad movie. But I compared it to Beverly Hills Cop 3, where it's kind of like the tone changes so much that it's like, oh, this is nowhere near like the first two movies, and they kill off an important character, which they do show in the trailer, to like try to like bring some gravity to the film, but it just ends up just being like even that's kind of forgotten. That's it's like, oh, that's right.
Mm.
We were trying to find what's his name's killers.
It
So
sounds like the
anyway,
script is kind
when's the
of
last time you
all
talked
over
to
the
mom?
place.
Yeah, so it was like it was that, yeah. So not terrible, but also when I walked out of the movie, I was like, this is a movie that exists. So yeah,
That's so unfortunate because I really love the first one.
the
So the
first
fact that
one's
this
great.
one's mediocre
Yeah,
sucks. Especially we don't really get autistic main
correct.
characters in an action movie like
Yeah.
at all. So I
Hmm.
want the whole. This movie's making money, so they're gonna make a third one. But hopefully they
I heard they were
either
making a
tighten
third
up the
one.
script
Yeah.
or get new writers or original writers. You know,
Yeah.
so what would you put
Streaming
Accountant
for
to?
sure. I would say streaming.
Streaming? Whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa! What's that? Okay, this is
I haven't seen anything this year that I would say skip. Not this year. I haven't seen anything this month. I think I haven't
say
seen
skip.
anything this month. I would say skip. Let me.
Well, we're on the three big hitters coming up now,
Okay.
so I don't think so.
Yeah.
So that Accountant 2, is it better than Drop?
I would probably rather watch Drop, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay, gotcha. All right.
That's wrong. I would rather watch The Accountant too.
Is
Now I think about it.
Accountant 2 better than Amateur?
They're the same. They feel the same. Like I remember when I was like writing my review for The Accountant, I was like, I literally just said this about The Amateur.
Hmm. So the first Accountant was okay. The trailer for the sequel left me cold. I'll probably see it when it hits streaming. That's fair.
It's probably for the best.
Okay, so we'll leave this like this. So
Hmm.
I think we'll speed run these last three films because we've talked about them in nauseum. So we'll just go
Hmm.
from each of them. And let's talk about Warfare. We've talked about ad nauseum, one of the most realistic war movies we've ever seen. Really strong performances. Sound design is a character of his own, and it
Yep.
scared the holy hell out of me. And it's a movie they just put the pre-order for the physical copy. I'm definitely buying it
You should.
because it's a movie I definitely want to watch again and I want to own because I think it's a moment. Like even though it's not going to do well financially, and I don't think it might get like a Oscar nomination for sound design,
Hmm.
but it might not because Civil War did it, and Civil War sound design was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just another thing of Alex Garland becoming one of my favorite directors, right? Like I really like Men. I really like Civil War. I
Hmm.
really like Annihilation. I haven't seen Ex Machina yet, but
Yeah.
I heard that's his best film. I really like his TV show called Devs, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
He wrote and directed that show, and it was really great. And that's the first time I saw Kaylee Spaney, and she's playing a boy, which is so weird. And I really love Warfare, even though he
Mhm.
co-directed this. But I feel like a part of why it's great is him bringing the cinematic quality what Ray Mendoza wanted to do.
Yeah. This movie before Sinners came out was the best movie I had seen this year, by far. Like I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, and it's a insanely good film. So yeah, I think that it also should get nominations for um, sound design, set design,
Yeah,
as well as like just there's some I feel like there are some acting awards in here, but it's such an ensemble cast that I don't think that you can pinpoint any one person.
yeah.
But yeah, this movie is absolutely terrifying. It's
Even
one of the worst
cinematography,
situations imaginable. So,
even
um,
cinematography during the explosion scene
cinematography, yeah,
when he's standing there and it was insane.
it's like the best way I can explain my experience with this movie was I felt like it grabbed me and wouldn't let me go until the runtime was over. I was like, please.
Hmm.
I was having such a like when I walked out of the movie, I was like talking to a friend about it. I was like, yeah, this was I wouldn't say fun, but it was great. It was a great time, but it wasn't a fun
Yeah,
time. But
yeah.
yeah,
I agree. Like I wouldn't say I had fun, but I was absorbed in it. The gunshots felt like they were inside
yeah,
my theater sometimes. And I didn't see this in IMAX. I saw it on a big screen at my theater I go to, but they don't have IMAX screens.
mhm,
They have RPX, but they don't have IMAX.
yeah.
I can't imagine how amazing this was in IMAX. Oh
I
my
did
god.
see this in IMAX, and it was insane. When the show of force happened, the theater rattled. It was crazy.
Oh my god, the show of force is one of the best things to come to this year. This is good.
Yeah,
Like I'm for the Zack Attack Movie Awards, I'm going to be doing best scene, and
mhm,
I don't like Warfare is definitely going to have a spot in there.
yeah, for sure.
And Sinners, which I guess we can talk about that now.
Yep.
Sinners.
So wait,
Oh
where are we
yeah,
putting this at?
we're putting. Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm putting this in IMAX. To be honest with you,
Yeah, IMAX, easy.
yeah,
But yeah, with Sinners, yeah, I think that this movie has a scene in it that definitely is going to be on best scene. One of the best scenes I've seen in my life. To be honest with you, it elevated the movie.
I
Even though the
agree.
movie is great,
I
even if
know
that scene
exactly
didn't
what scene
happen,
you're
the
talking
movie
about.
still would be great. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was something that like even if I wasn't black, I think would still be dope because just it's something that I've never seen before. But the fact that I am black and I'm so in touch with music that it was really nice. Like I love music.
yeah,
Music is a big part of my life. And the fact that he did what he did with that throughout the film, but it just
mhm,
culminated to that moment. And that's like almost halfway through the movie. So it's like an amazing scene there, and then the movie just takes off after that
yeah,
scene happens. Sinners is just a phenomenal film. The more I talk about it, the more I like it.
mhm,
I have problems with the third act. That's why it's not a 5-star film for me, but it's as close as 5 stars as it could get, you know?
yeah. This is definitely a 5-star film for me. I absolutely love this movie, and the scene that you're talking about in the juke joint, I was crying. Not like boo hooing, but I was like I had tears in my eyes. And there's actually several points in this movie where I was like legit tearing up, just for seeing the beauty of black culture on display being loved in the way that was being shown there. And like, there's so
Yeah.
many different things that you could talk about with this film, but we already said that we're not going to talk about it extensively because we've already talked about it extensively. I almost went
Yeah.
into it. That's why I'm talking myself out of doing that. But
We're
yeah,
actually
this
talking
is a
about it again on Sunday.
so here's what I can say. I'm having a hard time seeing another movie take the spot of this film in my
Your list.
letterbox list. Like it's number one, and also Warfare is number two for that matter. So that's how highly I think of this film. Yeah.
So this is an
Uh,
easy one.
IMAX.
So IMAX.
Yep.
um, and put it over Warfare. As much as I love Warfare, Sinners is my number 2 film of the year, so it's
Mhm.
definitely going to go over that.
Yeah.
It goes. Oh, what the heck did I just
Well,
do?
well,
There we go.
well.
It goes Nezatu, Sinners, Warfare. Those are my top 3 films of the year, if you're wondering.
I got Sinners, Warfare, and Companion. I just might as well round it out with the top 5. Mickey 17 is 4. My Dead Friend Zoe is number 5.
Woman in the Yard is number 4. Number 5 is it Brave New World? Maybe? Or Magazine Dreams? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was one of those movies. Oh no, Mickey 17. What I'm talking about. I love Mickey 17. I cried during the mid-credit scene. Incredible movie. Saw it twice. Mid-credit scene makes it. That's another thing. The mid-credit scene
Yeah.
elevates the movie, and a lot of people. My friend didn't see the mid-credit or end-credit scene. He walked out when the credits started hitting, and I was like, "Dude, not a good look. You missed one of the best moments in the movie." He was like, "What?" He said, "I'm gonna go see it again." I was like, "Good."
Good. Yeah. So just FYI, guys, you can Google is there a post credit scene for ... Like I do when the credits start rolling in any movie, I
do
just
that.
by habit, is there a post credit scene? If there's not, I'm
Yep.
out. If there is,
Screen Rant's good for that, man.
Yep.
Every time for Screen Rant, is there? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Spark said 10 out of 10. Now we're going to talk about maybe the most chaotic film that came out this month, one of the biggest events. If we talk about Sinners being a cultural event, Minecraft is the biggest cultural event that we've had all year. And look, they were destroying theaters to watch this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if that's necessarily culture. That's just nonsense.
that's America culture, right? Nonsense.
Yeah.
We started by destroying a tea party, right? Yeah, Minecraft. Talk about Minecraft, man. How do you like it? Because I know you liked it more than I did.
Minecraft's a lot of fun. I had a good time. I don't know anything about Minecraft. I still don't know anything about Minecraft. Well, I know more because of the movie, but I will never dabble in Minecraft outside of the movie. But I had a good time. It's not the greatest movie. It's not anywhere close to the greatest movie I've ever seen. It's even like this year. But I had fun.
Yeah.
The second half of the movie, especially in the third act, it does kind of tail off a little bit. I was definitely fighting for my life a little bit in the third act. But I woke up in time to see the final battle, which was actually pretty fun. Jack Black and Jason Momoa carry this movie. Yeah. Without them, this is a horrifying experience because the other 3 actors in this film, they're not bad actors. They just didn't do a damn thing. Once they got into the Digimon digital world, they did nothing. Nothing in this movie.
Digital world.
The kid who's supposed to be like the inventor or whatever,
the main character,
who was supposed to be the main character, which now I look at this poster, I don't think he was supposed to be the main character. He was like, yeah, he's the kid, the avatar that you follow when you're watching a movie. He basically disappeared from relevance. It was just like,
yeah.
So yeah. But that being said, I did have a fun time because Jack Black made it a fun time. Yeah, what do you think?
I agree. I think that Jack Black was on 11. Jason Momoa tried to match it. He was probably on 9.
Yep.
And them together was a 20. Oh yeah, 11 and 9 is 20. Oh, let's see what I did there. I did that by mistake.
Yeah.
And they were just really, really fun to watch. I think the first half of the movie where it leaned into the video game elements, like this specific scene with Jason Momoa digging into the ground and then digging further, like it felt like a video game. I think when they did that, the movie was really, really fun. Mm-hmm. I think when we get past Chicken Jockey, which I still don't understand what the hell that's even about, that's where the movie starts faltering a bit, where it gets into stereotypical it felt like it was trying to be Lord of the Rings, but goofy. The big giant standoff thing that was going on, and the characters started just getting lost in everything, and the predictable comeback happened, and it was one of the funniest villain moments I've ever seen.
The villain is hilarious
with the knife. I thought that was funny. The villains are really fun in this movie. The movie's just fun. It's pure sugar, candy coated, no substance, no Demi Moore, nothing like that. Just straight up sugar. Just inject in your veins, you get a high, you have fun, and then after you leave the theater, you don't remember anything that happened.
Let me tell y'all something. If I hear one of y'all coming in here talking about some cinematography and script, and set design and I don't know, sound design about Minecraft. I'm gonna need y'all to go touch some grass, even some digital grass. Maybe build a farm, in that farm video game, which I can't remember the name of. Pikmin from
Stardew.
GameCube. They had grass. Go touch grass. Because this is not that movie. If you go
No.
into Minecraft with a sinner's checklist,
Checklist.
you've lost the plot.
You lost the plot.
Captain Planet.
And
That's
I
it.
think
That's all I
Real
gotta say.
says it great. He says the silver lining is at least the youth are going to the theaters. That was the point. They
Yep.
got the kids to go to the movies and have fun and excited. Do I want the
youth
kids
are.
to do this every time I go to the movies? No.
No.
I had a terrible experience in the theater watching this movie. But I'm happy that the kids found something. Five Nights at Freddy's, Super Mario Brothers movie. They're finding movies that let the kids love it, and that's really what matters, right?
Yep.
Book Girls and Purse says my friend saw Minecraft and didn't like it, but I have a feeling I will as long as it's fun. I'm here for it, and I think you will have fun.
It is fun. Yeah.
I showed my mom the video of the person bringing a chicken, and my mom said, "How the hell did this person get away with this?" I still don't know how that person brought a real
They brought a
chicken into the
in
theater. You didn't see that video?
No.
Yes, they had a real chicken in the theater for the chicken jockey moment.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, Nazareth.
And the chicken shitted on the chairs. So just let you know.
Okay.
I have no interest in Minecraft. That's fair.
Fine. Yeah.
I probably won't see Minecraft until I'm forced to by the kiddos.
Makes sense. Yeah.
TJ,
Yeah.
what's
What
up?
up, TJ?
My God,
TJ just dropped some new hotness, if you will. Let me pull that up. I'm not
show his
sure.
review.
Yeah, he just dropped. Oh, let me take this down. Take you down.
Where we put Minecraft?
Take down. Let's see what we got here.
Where we put Minecraft?
Minecraft is in matinee.
Matinee.
Did you want to do full price? You could.
Yeah, you know what? It's so fun. I'll give it a full price.
Okay.
This is the best C movie I've seen all year.
Okay. C movie. Looking.
Yeah, you know, in my rating, I do letters.
Yeah. No, I'm just looking to compare to see what I gave. Yeah, TJ
So
just
like
put
a
out
C-
his review for Until Dawn earlier
yeah.
today. He put out his review for Daredevil Born Again season 1 2 days ago. He has a Sinners review out, an amateur review out. So does have you seen that with T? He also has a Sinners review out. Everybody in here has a Sinners review out, essentially. So yeah, check out our reviews. And there's the amateur. He also put out a review out. That's TJ. Yeah. We got reviews in
The Collective Movie Man has a video out of all the movies he watched. I believe it's either all the movies he watched in April or all the physical media he got in April. I know he does both. I have to go watch it. But
Quick
check
question.
out Collective Movie Man.
What did you give Novocaine?
There's a C+.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
was fun and had depth.
Yeah.
Well, as much depth as that movie's going to have.
Yeah. Yep.
But I had a lot of fun. I like the performances there. I saw somebody say that Jack Quaid is not a good actor, and I was like, what?
Crack.
He's believable in everything I've seen him in.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He was great in Companion. He was really good in Novocaine. He's great in The Boys. I don't understand him. He's in something else this year too.
Yeah, he was really great. Yeah, a movie that just went to PVOD is with the guy from The Walking Dead. What's his name?
Andrew Lincoln?
No, the guy who just voiced Conquest and Invincible.
J.K. Simmons?
No, Conquest.
I didn't finish.
Oh, yeah, finish Invincible. I forgot what his name is. He was the guy who was Negan in Walking Dead.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, it's both of the people are getting kidnapped and they're the neighborhood watch and they're trying to figure out how to save them. Jack Quaid said this is one of his most personal movies he did, so I want to go check it out.
Wow.
It's available for rent. Original movie. Speaking of Jack Quaid, there's a couple questions we missed. I just started. So, Acre of Movies was here earlier. Welcome to the live
Mm-hmm.
stream.
Hey, hey.
Stacy said, "Who do you like more, Nicholas Holt or Jack Quaid?" Wow, Nicholas Holt.
I think Holt's better. Yeah,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Mainly if you've seen the show, The Great on Hulu, amazing performance as the
Yeah.
king of whatever country that was. He was so good.
Nicholas Holt was great in Juror Number 2 that came out last
Yeah.
year. He was also great in
The Order.
The Order. Thank you. That's the movie I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Two
He was
very
great
different.
in both
Oh,
of
he was
those
great
movies.
in Nosferatu.
He was great in Nosferatu. He was
Yeah,
also
so
in a
like
bunch of movies last year too.
he was.
Yeah,
He'd be working now. He's gonna be Lex Luthor, and I think he's gonna nail that too.
I think he's going to do great at that.
I would definitely like some original films, but also some sequels. You want some balance. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm glad everything's going good for you, Zach and Kenny. I hope everything goes good for you. I appreciate that. Same to you, man.
Much appreciated, man.
I hope you're having a good day, Zach, Kenny. I'll be listening to your video and also working on something for ready tomorrow for your live stream. Yeah, you have a live stream tomorrow. Everybody, go subscribe, collect Movie Man, and support him. I'm also buying tickets Friday for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yes,
That should be
I'm
fun.
super excited. That's my favorite action franchise, easily.
When is that coming out?
It's coming out towards the end of the month, I think.
Yeah, Mission Impossible movies are definitely some of my favorite for sure.
Ooh, Plucky Blue Man's going to go see Sinners in theaters.
Hey, looking forward to
I'm
hearing your
excited
thoughts
for
on
that.
that.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you guys watch Havoc on Netflix yet? No, I really want to watch it though.
I wanted to
I
watch
gotta
it.
see. Yeah.
My interest in it has dwindled because a lot of people who I trust have told me that it's not great.
On Baggio. Yeah, I've heard that too. Tomorrow's my video for all the movies I watched in April. Nice. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, thank you. Thank you. I still gotta watch Jury Number 2. I'm planning to watch it sometime this week. Nice. It's a really solid film. Like
It's a
really,
really
really
good
good to
film.
great.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts is apparently opening at 170 worldwide. Okay. Well, I was about to say, I thought that was just domestic. I'm like, holy crap! But that's still good on a $180 million budget.
Yeah.
That's really strong.
That's really good.
It's coming out. It's coming out the same day as Lilo and Stitch. Sons of bitches! Why would you do that? Mission Impossible.
Same day.
Mission Impossible.
Wow. Well, to be honest,
I'm seeing Mission Impossible first.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, for me, the decision is kind of like, do I want to end my night on a high note or a low note? And which one of those I think have provided me a better chance of walking out of the theater being like, this is great, right? Because I'm probably going to double feature. My dog is snoring like crazy. I'm probably going to double feature this. Great. But if I had to see it on separate days, I'm definitely seeing Mission Impossible first.
Yeah. I had fun with Havoc, crazy action, turn your brain off movie. Yeah, the director of Havoc said that it was a tribute to those movies where the action was in the forefront and the story was just there. Like it was just a push towards the action. It's not about making a complicated story or anything like that. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go check it out with that in mind. Like, do I like the characters? Do I like the action? Mission Impossible might get screwed over because of Lilo release date. Yeah, a lot of kids are gonna see. This is gonna be the second time Tom Cruise gets screwed over by like a bigger movie because he got screwed over by Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out a week before his movie. A week after his movie, and then also Indiana Jones coming out 2 weeks or a week before him. He was sandwiched in between all that.
Also, the movie came out on like a Tuesday. Like it debuted on a Tuesday, which was really weird. I was like, why? Because it wasn't like it was a holiday.
More time before Barbenheimer. I think that's why.
That makes sense.
What are your most hyped up movies for the rest of the year? Weapons.
That's a great question.
Absolute Weapons.
Weapons, yeah. That looks good.
The
Smash Machine.
Bring Her Back. Smash Machine.
That looks really good. Yeah.
Looks insane.
Yep.
Mission Impossible. It's the
Hmm.
final one. I love these movies. It's my favorite action franchise. I'm super excited for this one. I think people
Uh,
hated on the last one, and I thought it was great.
the last one was great. I would say Wicked Part Two. Is another
Yeah.
one I'm really looking forward to. I think already said the Smashing Machine. Of course, the MCU movies like
Oh, Friends.
huh?
Friends. That weird
Oh,
movie
Friends,
that looks like
A24
a
movie. Yeah, that looks really
yeah.
good.
That looks really
Um,
really good.
Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic Park, all the big tentpole
Yeah.
movies. Of course, the one that's coming out next week. Yeah, like there's a ton of movies that I'm like
Oh,
really looking
Avatar.
forward
Fire and
to.
Ash.
Avatar, Elio, um,
Elio. Ballerina.
Ballerina's another one for sure. I
Uh,
got a whole list right here.
Megan 2.0. That looks like it's gonna be fun.
That actually looks good, and I did not expect it to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Let's
yeah,
see. Oh, one battle after another. The new Paul Thomas Anderson
I
film.
did see. Yeah, I saw a trailer for that. That looks good. Um,
Frankenstein with Oscar Isaac with Guillermo
that
del
does look
Toro
good.
directing.
Karate Kid Legends. I'm looking forward
Oh
to.
yes.
Let's see.
And guys, what movies are you guys anticipating? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments for sure. I don't remember what the Life of Chuck is, but that looks interesting. How
The
to Train Your
highest to
Dragon,
lowest.
which is weird because I really don't like. I'm not one of these people who doesn't think that live action renditions of animated things are bad, just inherently. But How to Train Your Dragon like just came out. It's just as weird as making a Moana live action movie when Moana just got on the scene. Like that's strange to me.
When did How to Train Your Dragon come out? The first one. It came out 2010. Yeah, that's like really
Close.
soon.
Yeah.
How did you forget
Materialist is a movie
20 years later? How we forgot
28
28
years
years
later.
later? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so excited for that.
I have to see the first two, but I will be excited for that. Materialist is a love triangle movie with, I believe, Pedro Pascal, uh, Chris Evans, and another woman, a woman
Dakota
who is
Johnson.
Dakota Johnson. Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
interesting. A24 movie. I think I already said Elio. F1. The F1 movie looks good.
Yeah, that
Um,
does look good. Especially after Gran Turismo. I'm locked in
yeah,
on that.
yeah. So Jurassic World, I already said.
Freakier Friday, I'm interested in.
Mhm.
Nobody 2.
Eddington is that
Uh,
A24 movie that looks good.
Addington. Yeah, that looks weird. The Naked Gun.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, oh, Him looks really good.
Him, that looks good too.
I Know What You Did
Uh,
Last Summer.
yep. You already said
What else?
you already said
There's a lot coming
weapons.
out.
Nobody. I didn't see Nobody 1, so I can't be excited for Nobody 2.
The Michael
Uh,
Jackson biopic with his
I
nephew
am
playing
not
him.
excited for that. I'm actually scared for that.
You scared?
I want that to cease and desist. But I also need to see a trailer.
Zootopia 2.
Zootopia 2 is one I'm definitely looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at other stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like in the September section of this. Oh, by the way, so
Yeah.
guys, we talked earlier about where you guys can find original movies and what movies are coming out this year. I'm gonna put the link in here one more time. And what's a referral link? Anyway, referral link. Oh, get out of here, StreamYard. So this link, that link is probably what Zach is looking at. This is what I'm looking at. It'll tell you everything that's coming out this year, every week, or every month.
So you know, cautiously excited for Ballerina. I've heard about the Michael Jackson biopic might be a 2-part movie. I heard that too. That they're so confident that they're going to separate it into 2 parts.
Real Watkins mentioned Tron Ares. I'm also looking forward to that.
Yeah. Life of
The
Chuck
Black
is Mike
Phone
Flanagan
2.
directed.
What do you think
Yeah.
about the Black Phone 2?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
interested. I like the first Black Phone.
I hated that movie. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I was so bored. I was so bored.
It's trash.
Awful. Mortal Kombat 2 is coming out this year.
I need to watch the
Uh,
first one.
I did not like the first one, but it's Mortal
Oh,
Kombat, so
okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Is there any animated movies other than Zootopia 2 and Iliad?
I'm looking. I'm not seeing a lot.
Oh, Demon
Predator
Slayer.
Badlands is coming out.
Oh
Looking
yeah, I'm
forward
so
to that.
excited for that.
The Running Man's
Yeah,
coming out. Looking forward to that.
yeah.
Now you see me, now you
I
don't.
can
The
see
trailer
some of
for
the
that.
stuff being pushed though.
Yeah. Now you see me, now
Oh,
you don't. The trailer for that just dropped today. I'm looking forward to
oh
that.
yeah,
Sisu 2. I didn't know Sisu was getting a sequel.
yeah, and it's slated for November. Like they filmed it and no one knew.
That's wild. I mean, they filmed the first
Yeah,
one. I didn't know either. So,
yes,
um,
that's also true.
yeah, Zootopia 2. You already mentioned that. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I didn't like the first one, but I'm probably going to see the second one.
Yeah,
Just because I like going to the
same.
movies.
Yep.
Avatar: Fire and Ash. There's a new SpongeBob movie. There's a new
Uh,
Anaconda movie, which
Yeah, that's Jack Black and Paul Rudd.
what is this Marty Supreme thing? That looks familiar.
Oh yeah, that's with Timothy Chalamet, another
Yeah,
Oscar play.
Timothy Chalamet going to put something out in December now.
Oh yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
his.
He's a December
What
baby.
was it? Wonka, and then last year it was
Completely unknown.
yeah, unknown person. Yeah, so that I just went through the list. And then there's going to be a bunch of like movies I've never heard
Random.
of coming out, and it's going to blow me
Yeah.
away. Like The Substance, I didn't hear about until the week it came out last year. Strange Darling, I didn't hear about at all until TJ Billups mentioned it to me. He's like, "Hey, go check this out. Don't watch a trailer," and I did, and it was great. Ghostlight was last year. Didn't really hear
Oh
anything
yeah.
about that, but that was a great movie. Ended up in my top 10. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so there's gonna be a ton of movies that we have not even heard of. They're gonna just drop, and we'll be excited for it.
yeah. And I love those kind of films.
Absolutely,
Um, I need the next Spider-Verse movie ASAP. Across Spider-Verse, one of my favorite all-time favorites. Such an amazing work of art. I agree. I agree. I
I
agree. I
agree.
agree.
That joint not coming out until 2052.
I'm gonna be gone already. I gotta
Yeah,
cryo freeze myself just to watch the movie.
yep.
See Nobody. It's one of the better John Wick's knockoffs. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. No, Nobody's so fun.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's more tongue in cheek than John Wick.
Mm.
Don't give a shit about the next Avatar, but my wife will probably drag me, kicking and screaming. I love the first two
I
Avatar
love those
movies.
movies. Yeah. So the first one, I rewatched it right before seeing the second one. It's not a good movie, in my opinion. But I think a big part of it is where you watch the movie. Like watching it in the 3D
Mm,
IMAX is where you need to watch this film, because if you watch it at home, it's like, oh, this is a paper thin, boring ass story. But the spectacularized. So that was worth it.
yeah, I watched the first one at home, and I loved it. I didn't need. I knew it was a simple plot and all that stuff, but I was just invested in the characters and the world.
Mm,
It felt different from everything that we watch, even though like a lot of people, oh, it's just Fern Gully, Fern Gully. I ain't see that shit.
yeah,
So I love Avatar. That experience watching. I don't like 3D movies, but watching Avatar 2 in
but
IMAX 3D was
great
amazing.
experience.
I
Yeah,
was in the water.
yep. Them kids got on my
So
damn
just
nerves.
oh yeah.
And
Way, like okay, it
listen
makes
to your
sense
parents.
why.
Listen to
Yeah,
your
well,
parents.
most kids don't.
I know, but
So
is that
this is our
everything?
final list.
Yep.
Yeah, we're about to wrap up. This is the one skip, Holland. We had 4 streamings, 4 matinees, 1 full price, 2 IMAXs. This is probably a lesser month in terms of films for us. We usually have more IMAX, more full price, and no skips.
Yeah.
So Yeah,
That Mickey 17 month was crazy. That was a really good month, if I remember
that
correctly.
was a really, really good month. We had a lot of full price, a lot of maybe not no IMAX. We had an IMAX, but
Yeah,
we didn't have that many.
that was a good month.
But guys, drop your comments down below and let us know what you think about our list, where we ranked everything. Do you think that people want original films? Do you think people want to see how they're going to regulate the Oscars and how the voters are going to bypass not watching movies still, even though they have to vote on it? And let us know how you feel about the Guess the Movie game. If that's something that you want to see us play, and it's something that's really, really quick. This was a really fun episode 9. I'm excited to do episode 10. That's going to be the Thunderbolts episode.
Hey,
And that's going to be really exciting to talk about that movie with you guys. So do your homework. This is Film Club. Go watch Thunderbolts this weekend and watch other movies as well. Whoa, buddy. Don't have gang signs.
Film
I know you're
Club.
from Philly.
That
Look, this
was
is what I'm going to
FC.
say
FC.
after they beat your ass. This is what I'm going to say.
Look how they massacred my boy.
You're going to be looking crazy.
But I mean, they could come at me. But,
That's not. I mean, but you would die.
you know what I'm saying? Like it could be whatever, cuz.
Okay. Let's wrap this up. He wildin'.
It could be whatever, cuz.
What's up?
Get your man.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I pull out the strap,
Oh no. And
when
I'm
I pull out
looking
the
forward to all the
strap,
superhero movies as usual. Thanks, guys. This was fun. I'm glad you had fun. We had fun too. So happy I dropped by. I subscribe. It's cool to meet other creators in this space that aren't anti-woke grifters. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. Yeah, we're the very opposite of that. We're not grifters, and I'm woke. I'm glad and I'm proud to say that. So yeah. Good night, guys. Appreciate all of you guys. See you next week Tuesday for the 10th episode. I'm super, super excited. And peace.